Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision for Severed Minds with my special co-host tonight, Laurie of Reel Therapy. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So I was going to say, why don't we start out by talking what we thought about the episode? We can finish our conversation we started a couple minutes ago. What
Sure.
did you think about it? You go first, and I'll tell you what I thought.
There were elements of it that I really liked. I liked the grief processing that she was doing, that she had a lot of unresolved grief with her mother's death, that she wasn't there when her mother died, that she didn't have any closure with her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, one second. I have a feedback here. She didn't have any closure with her.
I was going to say your mic went out.
Yeah, I'm trying to shut it off. I'm sorry, one second.
That's okay.
Okay, there we go. So, so I think that scene where she hooked up the oxygen tube to the machine and laid down on the bed, that was her way of kind of going through what her mother went through in a way she could process it because she wasn't there. She left when she was very young. I think she was 12 or 14 when she left home to go to the school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it was a very deep wound for her. So I liked that aspect of the episode. I liked her facing her past, of her going back and trying to make sense of what happened to her, facing her aunt, confronting her aunt about what she did with her mother, that she accused her of taking the tube out. And just to see her aunt's allusion to Kira and Lumon, that she still so and reveres them so much. But anyway, other than that, I like the locale. The shooting was beautiful,
Mhm.
but I just think it took us away from the main story. It kind of took us off track, especially after last week's episode, which was brilliant. We were going in a direction. Mark was reintegrating, and then I feel like we were pulled out. What did you think of it, Jamie?
Yeah, I think that after last week, it was a bit of a letdown, but I feel like a lot of that was just because so much what happened last week. I think that maybe if they had split the episodes and put like a little bit of like Lumen, even just the office stuff in it, instead of being just Cobel's story, maybe it wouldn't have felt quite so, I don't know, somber and slow. But I get that maybe they wanted to keep it separated. And I kind of feel like they did that on purpose. And that's probably why it was so short, because they could have, weaved in other things and they didn't.
Right.
I was glad to finally see her, though, because everybody, including myself, had been waiting to see her. And I think that it does do a good job of us seeing why she's maybe not as down with Lumen as we were at first led to believe, and what they kind of did to her. So I like seeing finding out these things, but I do think they could have added an actual flashback or something just to break it up a little bit. But yeah,
To
I
have
agree with
seen
you.
her
It
mother.
was shot really, really nice too, though. The landscaping.
I think if they had shown her mother ill and her as a little girl, like going over to her mother, I think it would have had a lot of impact. I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, Michael
And
says
maybe
that he was
more.
seeing Lumen's
Go
branch
ahead,
when
I'm
it was
sorry.
in operation. I agree. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. But yeah, I think
No,
that
no, no,
would
no.
have helped too. Seeing that. Although you said, did she go to school when she was? You said she left when she was like a teenager, right? But she mentioned it sounds like
I
she
think
was
she was.
working there, or at least doing ether since she was like 8.
Yeah. Yeah, he made Hampton, her friend, he made a comment that they were child labor. So I got the sense that they were working in the factory when they were children, and then she went away to school when she was either
Yeah.
12 or 14.
Yeah. And it sounds like was probably some kind of genius, considering she invented things with the brain, potentially all of Severance. So yeah, they
Right.
really used her, which is kind of sad when you think about it. But yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
episode. It's just a little slow, I think, for some people, is part of the issue.
But I also
Like,
don't think it's realistic that she would have invented that chip herself. I mean, usually a scientist, somebody who's a medical professional would be the one to invent something like that. That was a reach for me, I thought.
yeah, unless that part happened later, like as she was older, because it sounds like that Wintertide Fellowship or whatever was when she was a bit older that she won that. Like that was when she was graduating, right? So I
Right.
kind of assume that she invented that stuff after. But yeah, you're right. She would have had to go to college for science and everything else for that to make complete sense. But
Yes. Right. But
yeah, I
yeah,
hadn't even thought
that's
about that. You're right.
yeah. I mean, she had the same fellowship that Miss Wong has right now.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I
And
know.
when we get to it in the video, when they actually show when she goes to find the documents and she finds uh from her school, that yearbook, it
Mhm.
mentions that she was in charge of the goat husbandry at the school.
Oh, does it?
So I
I
thought
see, I
that was
couldn't read
interesting.
that much. I'll have to read the when I get to that picture, we'll look at it. I
Yes.
probably didn't read the whole thing. I don't know if I couldn't read it or I just when I was taking the captions didn't stop maybe, but we'll see when we get there. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I didn't notice that. Well, then maybe she had that job that Gwendolyn Christie does. Who knows?
Maybe.
That would be funny. Let me open up the photos here. I feel like a lot of these pictures are just of the environment, so I'm not sure until we get to a certain point. I'm not sure they're super helpful telling the story, but we will put them up. Let me see if I. Whoops. Ah, sometimes it's hard for me to manage. I have two monitors going, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure this stuff out. It's like I hate all that. I don't know how to get off the outside edge of that, but I can at least do that. All right. So the beginning is all her coming. Well, I guess she's leaving Salt Neck. That's the thing that kind of confused me. That sign said she's leaving Salt Neck, didn't it? And I thought she was coming into it. So thanks for visiting. Or is she
Hmm.
going? Unless, well, you know what? Was going the other direction though. I think it's just the way they showed the sign, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that because otherwise that doesn't make tons of sense. I think that's just the way she's going. Let's see. Alice says, whoop, maybe the show producers are compartmentalizing their episode like her minds often compartmentalize differing subjects or ideas. Yeah, I think they definitely separated off this part with Cobel. I don't know. I think maybe that was a mistake. I mean, I don't know that it completely took away from it, but I think that maybe it wouldn't have seemed so slow if they hadn't done that. So, all right, let's see. And Seth said that Michael said, I think Seth has also been there since he was a child. I think that that's probably a good guess, but obviously we don't know that. And by the way, Laura, you can cut me off or jump in or anything anytime you want. I know I
Okay.
tend to talk a lot, so feel
No,
free.
no problem.
So we see Cobell driving. See, I got a lot of the pictures of the town. Obviously, this town is really run down since Lumon left. Looks like a fishing town. I don't know that it ever actually says that, but that's what it makes me think of. That big hill
Yeah.
is interesting. Like I would like them to put something on that hill. I don't know. It's just kind of there.
You can imagine what that town looked like when Lumen was active there. There
Mhm.
must have been so many people living there. A lot of younger people were there. Um,
Yeah, it
so
reminds me
when
of no.
Lumen closed, when they closed the factory, probably all the young people left.
Yeah, probably. Do we know where this part's filmed? Because it kind of looks like, or at least it reminds me of Nova Scotia, but I don't know if that's where it is or
It's
not.
Newfoundland and
Newfoundland.
Labrador.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. I think that might be near there. I'm not sure. But yeah, all these rundown buildings, and then she stops. Everybody, when we were, I know, doing the watch party last time, made such a big deal about her brushing her teeth. So I
Oh
took a picture
yeah.
of her brushing her teeth.
I mean, I like what Scarlett said, and I agree. It is kind of gross.
It is gross. It is gross. I would agree with
We
that.
didn't need to see that. No.
No, we didn't. And then we see this guy. I don't know if he's homeless, lives in that bus, whatever, but you finally get the idea. They don't ever come out and say it, but obviously he's breathing in ether fumes to get high is what you're saying.
Yeah, and
Down
that's called bagging.
Okay.
Using a bag to breathe it in is bagging. I looked this up. And when you put the ether on a cloth and breathe it in, that's called huffing.
Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
I know they use ether or used to use ether to knock you out. I didn't know that you could. I mean, until this show, I didn't know that you could just like use a little bit of it. I thought it would put you to sleep.
Right. In
Uh,
Europe, it was really big in the end of the 18th century. Sorry, the 1800s. A lot of people were were using it in place of alcohol.
that's really interesting. I had never. I mean, I don't know. I didn't hear about it till this. Scholar is saying ether frolic. That was a big thing in the 1800s. Yeah, I was going to say I have a little paragraph here. I had looked it up. I don't know what the site was. I forget now where I got it from, but it says when inhaled in small amounts, ether had the same effect as nitrous oxide. It produced a brief sense of exhilaration, which prompted many to use it recreationally. And they had ether parties or ether frolics that came into fashion where guests would sniff ether together and get high. So
That's where
I think it's,
frolic.
yeah,
That's
I
where
think it's
frolic
very
comes from.
interesting that they use that. Yeah, I think that that's funny. I
And
don't
you
know
know
if
what
that's why
else?
they chose the word frolic as one of the
Yeah,
one of one of
yeah. And
the
I got another one for you.
things.
Uh, okay, so it's called diet. Oh, I'm not pronouncing it. Diethyl ethanol or diethanol
Ethanol, I think.
ethanol, and that's where Dieter comes from.
Mm.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so they do a lot of play on words in this one, don't they?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Quite a
So we
lot.
know what frolicking with ethyl is, and now Dieter with ethyl. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
like Kier was trying to tame the part of us that becomes addicted to ether. It's like the four tempers has a relation to ether, strangely enough.
Yeah, I still wonder that like they're trying to get rid of all of our emotions, and that's part of why they keep saying like tame the tempers because you got like basically, I mean, those are basically, or I would say four of our main emotions. You could categorize them that way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yes.
interesting. Just me says there's nothing else to do in that town. You're right. Yeah, they
Only
kind of
huffing and puffing, that's it.
yeah, yeah, right. Um, Susie says, I'd be interested to know what the town and people in it were like before Lumen arrived. Yeah, because the aunt says that there was no town. So I don't know if they completely built it up, it sounds like as well, before it ended up run down, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
because they had a thriving factory, so they were employing a lot of the people that live there. So, yeah, it was a vital resource for the town.
yeah, definitely. I do not know how to say that to guy. I don't know. I know I butchered your name. I apologize, but I thought it was a nice, tight episode and think her backstory will propel the story forward. I think so too. And I think that it's probably really important that we got, the part of Cobel because I think she's going to work with Mark and screw over Lewin. I've been saying that for a while. I mean, whether she'll screw him over, I don't know, but I feel like she wants to take Lumen down because of what had happened. Let's see. Yeah, that's what you were saying, Scarlett. That Dieter is a part of Kier that huffed. Let's see. Okay, this is a different Susie, I guess. I thought this was Susie from our chat. This is Chelsea. Okay. Let's see. What do we have? I lost where I was at. All right, so we go to this diner, which is called the Drippy Pot Cafe. I'm not sure that really has anything in it with meaning, but it's a funny name, so I wrote it
Yeah,
down.
that's cute.
But she is in the diner. Um, I don't know. Her using oxygen makes me think of the whole thing with her mother. I'm sure it's not necessarily relevant, but it made me think of it.
Oh, yeah.
But these people probably aren't real healthy if they've been breathing ether for a long time. So
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. The ether got in the water, contaminated the water, so it made a lot of people sick in the town. Besides a lot of them having addiction issues from it.
yeah, yeah, then you'd be addicted for sure. And if I pause, it's because I'm trying to type to the chat. I don't know. I seem to be slow with typing today. So let's see. I lost where I was at. Okay, so the
Oh yes,
waiter.
I'm sorry. I
Sorry, go
just
ahead.
want to
No,
comment
go
on
ahead.
what Wild Marjoram said. I agree. I thought that was Rose from the Titanic at first. The actress that played the elderly Rose.
Whoops, wrong part. Yeah, I
But
didn't.
no, it's not the same actress, but I thought it was her.
No, I don't think it is, but I hadn't even noticed that. You're right.
Yeah.
That's funny. But this is where his name's Hampton, but the waiter, he gives this guy free ether on the house. So he's selling the bottles of ether. We find out later, but he gives him some. And they have a conversation that's probably irrelevant about a snowplow flipping. Um, the Oh wait, did they say her name was Rose?
Yeah,
So
they
the old
did.
lady with the
Yeah.
well, then maybe they knew she looked like her. That's funny. That's
She did
funny.
look a lot like her. She really did.
Okay, that is Susie. See, I'm confused, Susie. It's okay. I'm just like, I thought that was Susie. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it does kind of look like her. You're right. So there's more of the town. So Cobel is coming down to this diner, and she stops at the diner, and we see more of Hampton. I don't know. Like, we don't find out his name is actually Hampton until the very end of the episode, but it's easier to say that than to keep saying the waiter through the whole thing of me talking. Um, but she goes in the diner and everybody stares at her. And I think it's just because this is kind of like the little small town, everybody knows everybody type of thing. Hold on one second. I'm changing my shirt while I'm talking, trying to.
Yeah, it's the kind of town where people know each other, but we don't know at first who she knows there. We don't know why
No,
she's there.
they seem to know her. Let's see. Scarlett says, I meant Titanic like sinking vessel, like Cobel's car might sink like the opening credits. I thought Cobel was going to run her car into the ocean at the end, either alone in a car chase. Yeah, people keep bringing up the car from the opening credits, especially because this episode was about her. I've heard that some of the opening credits that makes it sound like they just made up when they made them to make it look cool. But then other times I've heard people say that they said the opening credits has clues in it. So I'm really not even sure. Yeah, I don't know, but I know that seems to be something important. Maybe we'll find out.
Mhm.
Um, I'm going to pause a second because I am so bad at promotion and I forgot to at the beginning. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming. If you're here, please make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure that you check out Laurie's channel too, Reel Therapy. The link for that is in the description. But while you're here, make sure you too check out under SciFi Vision our other live shows with interviews and everything. And we have our Yellow Jackets live tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be joined by Antler Queens, Scarlett and I's show, and we'll be reviewing the episode. And then Tuesday at 10 p.m. is our weekly all kinds of stuff show. And of course, you can join our Discord, which I will put the link in the chat. Please do. And then you can join our watch parties and everything before the episode and get schedules. What you don't have a live stream set up right yet, Laurie, right?
No, I don't.
Recorded ones.
Not
Okay.
yet.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I gave you a chance to tell the time, and then I realized I didn't think you had a time. So
Yeah, maybe perhaps in the future, but right now I'm just putting out videos right now.
no, yeah, that's all.
And I just put out a recent video about any how Helena and Gretchen like any Mark and any Dylan, and do they want to get rid of the Audis? So check out my video for that theory.
Very good. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I saw you posted it, so people can get that link in the the link in the description. I can't talk.
Yeah.
All right. So
You're
Cobel
tongue
comes.
tied from this episode.
I am. So I did I skip that part? I don't know. I thought I had a picture of it, but maybe I didn't yet. It must be later. I took a picture of it when she calls again. Devin had called her, and I skipped mentioning that by accident. Um, I find it interesting. I mentioned this earlier in the chat. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but when Devin calls, her number says Devin Scott instead of Devin Scott Hale, which
Ah,
I don't know,
yeah.
stuck out to me for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
I saw that too. Yes, it's interesting.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Okay, so I keep losing where I'm at. I'm sorry. I'm not doing a great job keeping track of my looking at my text. So Hampton asked her if she wants coffee. He says it's only for paying customers, and she's like, "Then buy me a coffee," um, which which is totally her. And she
Yeah.
says that pounds older than she remembered and frail. And he gives this whole thing about market readjustment. He's just kind of rambling, being sarcastic. And she wants to talk to him, but she says to meet her at the factory because she doesn't want to do it there. And then she leaves, and he tells, and I'm not far enough, tells that woman there that we called, her name was Dot. Where did she get Rose then? Because I think he says, at least in the captions, he says Dot close up because I marked that down. So I don't know.
Yeah, he did. I maybe there's two women there, but I
I
don't
don't
remember
know.
seeing the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, you're right. Scarlett's saying they could have put both episodes together. They probably could have. I think the last one was pretty long though, isn't it? I'm not sure.
Oh, the last episode and this
The last
episode?
episode, yeah.
They're two different episodes. I don't think putting them together would have been a good thing. They're very different episodes.
I think the thing is with 7, it was so, yeah, just me saying it's perfect. I think there was so much going on with Gemma. I think it would have been confusing if they tried to connect them. I don't know that it would have fit. Um, and
Episode 7 was phenomenal. I
it was.
loved it. I could watch that again and again and again. I just everything about it. And the director, she was the show's cinematographer, and it was her first time directing, which is amazing. She did an amazing job.
Yeah, all of the directors on this show, I think, are really, really amazing on this.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe they could have added part of episode 9. But um, we got 10 episodes this time instead of 9. So I look at it that way. Like if they'd put it
Right.
together, we probably only would have gotten the 9 episodes. Um, she said, my closed captioning said Rose for the old lady with the braided hair. I don't know. I just know when he was talking to what I thought was the same woman, he said Dot, according to the closed captioning. But it's also possible they changed this because I think when I took the notes originally, I think it was when I was watching the screener. So it would have been, it's sometimes they change things. It's possible they decided she looks like Rose. Let's do that. But
Exactly. That's Rose from the Titanic. Let's
no,
let's
yeah, I
call
don't
her
know. It might have
Rose.
been changed, but my caption said Dot, but it definitely could have been from the screeners, and sometimes they
Yeah,
do change things. So
it's funny.
uh, I think Dot's another woman. She might be. You might totally be right, Scarlett. Just me says I can't wait to see what happens with Dylan and Gretchen. Hey Doc. Let's see. Okay, that's all about him coming in. All
Hey,
right.
Doc. How are you? How are you, Doc?
Yeah, we got lots of people in the chat. I've got a lot of people here too. Thanks guys for coming. Um,
Scarlett is here. Is Scarlett in the chat?
yeah, Wild Marjoram is Scarlet.
Oh, oh,
I,
oh.
I
Okay.
just tend to say Scarlet because I know her as Scarlet. I don't read it out usually. Maybe I should. Yeah. So where was I at? Now I lost where I was at again. Okay, so she tells him to meet her at the factory. So he drives to the factory, and somewhere here I have, I think, yeah, you can see it says Lumon on there too. So all of these were probably different businesses that were part of Lumon that got shut down. They're all boarded up. Hey, Doc, it's Laurie from Reel Therapy is my co-host today. Karen is not here tonight. So Laurie is helping me out, which I appreciate.
You're welcome.
Uh, let's see. Susie says it felt like it was going to be a story that would extend past what will be the next 2 episodes, maybe into next season. I felt like it was going to be pretty complex. I'm not sure if you're talking about Cobel's story or about the whole Gemma thing. I'm not sure which she meant. Oh, that was I'm sorry. That was to just me. That wasn't even to me. So ignore me, people, when I do that. But sometimes I don't notice you guys are talking to each other when I put them up. So sorry about that. But there's a view of the harbor. This whole, like I said, and you said too, this is filmed really beautiful. I love seeing
Yeah.
the different
I thought it
scenery.
was Nova Scotia when I first saw it. I'm
That's
like,
what my sister
oh,
reminds me of. It reminds me of Haven, the show Haven, which I'm
yes.
pretty sure filmed there. Looks a lot like
And
that.
I'm thinking, oh, maybe they're going to merge Severance with From.
Yeah,
And they're going
that
to
would be
film it
nice,
in
right?
Halifax, in Nova Scotia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be nice. So let's see. Yeah, it is Canada. You're right. It is Canada, Scarlett. So they're at Lumen Industries, and she's been waiting for him. And he says it's fucked up to ask him to come there. And she tells him that she also says, I think I have this out of order. She says that Kier and, okay, I guess she says that a little bit later, that Kier and Imogen met here at the ether mill that they're at. And that's where he says child labor. And it's clear
Mhm.
they worked there since they were little. So, yeah, I don't know how they could have kids who were 8 years old working at an ether mill.
I
But I
know.
guess back then there probably wasn't as many child labor laws and all that good stuff, I guess.
Right. Yes, I think so.
But it's all closed down now. I don't know if I wonder why they don't like use the ether and stuff now. Is it just because they do other things they have no need? I would just think if that was like a big thing with the frolic parties that maybe they would have continued that.
Well, from what I read on the internet, Lumen was first manufacturing soap, and ether is one of the chemicals used in making soap. So somehow they found out that ether is also a way to calm people and to manipulate somebody's mood. So I think they started to focus more on the ether production. That's what happened. And
Yeah,
then
it's
I don't know. Then
interesting to
they
know
took
now.
it they took it off the island to the rest of the world, and they had a severance ship. So,
Yeah, now they
but
have the whole town of Kier too, but I don't
but
know. I
how
mean,
did
it
they?
might also just be that they don't use ether like they used to for, putting
No,
people to sleep and that kind of thing. So
no, they don't use it as much. But how did they make that leap from going from ether to the severance chip? I mean, that's interesting to me. That there's a whole gap there that needs to be filled, right? Like, how did
yeah.
that happen?
I don't know, and I'm hoping if we get more backstory on her, even maybe next season, that maybe we'll find out. I don't know. Maybe it was just like a thing she liked or that she was interested in. But I have to assume, with the way they've said things, that Lumen, had its hand in a lot of cookie jars, doing a lot of different things, and maybe they had like different branches and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that would be my thoughts. The
Mhm.
TCS says child labor it should have been illegal even during the time of this show. That being said, there's legal child labor, a lot of it, especially in cults. Yeah, I'm sure there was still child labor laws back then. I just mean that back then I don't think they enforced a lot of things the way they do now. So they probably, I mean, they got away with it. Um, and Scarlett, if you'd rather me call you by your other name, I can do that too. Please tell me. I just always say Scarlett. She says, I think Miss Wong is an unpaid intern, though. Other than that, you see no kids working there. Yeah, I mean, she's got the Wintertide Fellowship too, like Cobel did. But yeah, we really don't see kids. But I mean, it could have been different back then, and they could have also gotten kids. I mean, I kind of wonder if the people got high off the ether just working there, so maybe they got away with, using kids because they didn't care if they got sick. I don't know. Uh, and what did the Wilds mean on Harmony's award? I don't know if that's a typo or you read it wrong, but I think it says the Wilds because I noticed that the plaque, and I know we haven't gotten this part yet, but I'm just answering your question. The plaque on the wall in her aunt's house that had the Wintertide or maybe it wasn't Wintertide Fellowship, but whatever it said on that plaque, it said Year of Vision. And I think on her award, it says Year of Wiles. So I think they like mark the different years by the different principles. At least that was my guess. Like probably somebody else has said the Year of Verve or whatever.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. So where were we? Okay. So she wants him to drive her to Sissy's because she says that if they're watching the house, they'll recognize her car. And he gathers that that she's in trouble. Wiles, not wilds, is what I'm saying for Wintertide. I'm just saying that. Sorry. So he says that Sissy still lives by the 9, which I took to mean she lives by the 9 principles of Kier, but he didn't actually say that. And that she's a pariah there. And she's like, well, you can stay in the truck, but I got to go get something. And he says, why would I help you with anything? And she says that they're once chums and old colleagues lift up each other. And somebody said something. Okay, thanks for coming, Scarlett. Somebody said something earlier about them being friends, and I have no idea where it is because I lost it. So I'm sorry. I'm used to Karen running the chat. You can only do it if you're logged into StreamYard.
Oh,
Which kind of stinks. So if I miss somebody's chat, feel free to just push it again or type it again, and I'll get to it because some of them are missing.
If you want, I also can call out stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I just mean you can't there's like a thing. I don't even know if people can see it, but there's like a thing you can store it. And usually Karen hits the star. So
I see. Okay.
So it's hard when there's a lot sometimes to find where they were at when you lose them.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to do it somewhat in order.
Okay.
Was Imogen a child bride? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if it ever said that, but do you remember? Did it ever say anything about her being a child? I mean, it said said they worked there as children, but whether or
In
not
the painting with Kier, she appears very small, but it could have been because he was standing on a step with the ether of that. But she seems a lot smaller, so maybe that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, maybe. Scarlett has a point too, says, I think Lumon took orphans, put them in a girls' or boys' school, and then put them to work. I never thought about this. It could definitely be people that they brought in there, and that's why they were able to get them to work where they shouldn't be.
Right. That makes sense.
And Susie says, I didn't know the ether could be absorbed through the skin. Interesting. I didn't know that either. I didn't see that part, but I haven't investigated too far into ether, so maybe I missed that. Let's see. I'm gonna star this one and put a pin in that doc with the
Well, Susie also says that petroleum ether, PE, is often used as a solvent in extracting oils during soap making. So that's interesting. And maybe that, sorry.
Yeah, no. I was just wondering though if they use different kinds of ether, because when I looked up the ether that they used to get high, it was a different kind of ether.
Yes, that was the Dieter ether.
Okay. So yeah, maybe they use different ethers for different purposes, and they all do that. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Scarlett. Everybody hit like and subscribe. She said Kieran and Imogen look the same age to me in the painting. I'd have to go back and really look at the painting, I think, to tell that or not. I'd have to look at it. But she definitely could have been younger. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't be surprised if she was at any rate.
Yeah, probably. It wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah. So anyway, she says they used to be friends, and that's where he says they were child labor. And she tells him she can smell it on his breath and he's pathetic. So it's implying, I guess, that he's already been breathing in ether and getting high when she finds him.
Yeah.
And she just says to him when he tells her to fuck off, she says that you can help me or not, but I'll not be the punching dummy for your resentments. They talk so funny in this show. I don't know if they had a falling out maybe, or if just he resented her for leaving to go to school. I mean, it's not super clear what that resentment is, but
Yeah, I
she
mean,
does.
because later in the episode, they're kissing, so you know that there was something between them. They were
Yeah,
more than just friends, and yeah, he probably. And also, don't forget, I don't think he was a Kier supporter like she was. She was a real believer in Kier, and that may have separated them as well. And then she
uh-huh.
ended up leaving, so he might resent her for all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he might. It's also interesting to me that she was a Kier supporter after what happened to her mother, but that might be why she's questioning it now. I don't
Well,
know
the
because
thing is, if she went away to school at 12 years old, I mean, they brainwashed her. I mean,
washed.
she was very right. She
Yeah,
was indoctrinated into this society at a very young age, and maybe she didn't understand it at the time, but now as an adult, she can understand her mother's hatred of Kier and why she didn't go along with it. And because her mother became addicted to the ether. That's what happened to her. You know, she was probably huffing it, and that's how she developed a lung problem. That's why
yeah.
she needed that machine to breathe.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't even thought of that.
Mhm.
Oh, I see where she's at. I was looking at scrolling. I didn't know you could tell from there how many you got directly through the video. Apparently, I got 10 likes or 10 subscribes through the video. So yay, thank you for
Wow.
everybody who subscribed.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
you can
terrific.
see in the numbers. I didn't even know. Well, I definitely didn't know somebody else could see that if they weren't logged in. That's great.
Yeah, and
Um,
and please go to my channel as well and like and subscribe. That would be great.
Yes, like and subscribe to Laurie's channel too. And like I said, it's in the in the description. I eventually at some age may learn how to talk.
You're doing fine. I'm tongue-tied too, don't worry.
No, I get like that a lot. But don't forget too, I should mention, I haven't mentioned yet, under Sci-Fi Vision, if you go to the live tab too, we also have the previous interviews we had with Sydney, who plays Natalie, and Mark, who plays Kier, talking about the show as well. So make sure you check those out. And also, I have written down here, since we were talking about the 9 principles, I wrote down what they were: vision, verve, wit, cheer, humility, benevolence, nimbleness, probity, and wiles, in case anybody needs a refresher there.
Mhm.
Um, Thanks, DJ. Golden Child said Cobel was chosen and he wasn't. I'm guessing Cobel was chosen though too, because obviously she's quite smart if she was working with stuff to do with the brain.
And
So
Sissy even said that she was a prodigy of Jane Egan,
yeah,
that, he
yeah, because
he
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 stole
thought
all
the
her work,
world of her. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but then he stole her invention. So,
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah. So I have marked down I like the music and it was weird. Not that that's really helpful, but
Yeah.
he agrees to take her even though he doesn't want to. Oh, she says here that he's higher than a bearded vulture. I like that line. That was funny.
It's funny.
And he says to when they do get there, I'm sorry, I'm a bit behind on the pictures. I never know how many I've taken, so I never know how many to go through. He says to tell Sissy to drop dead for him. He does not like Sissy. And it's funny too, if you watch the captions later when he's coming back into the house, they're
Yeah.
yelling at each other. They're saying some funny things. I forget exactly what he says, but I don't know. There was just they were saying nasty comments. So she is hiding under his stuff in the back of the truck so that nobody from Lumon will see her coming in. And that's when Devin calls again. There we go. There's the phone. I just didn't do it the first time. Um, is that is that an Android? Can you tell? I only question this because I was reading the other day and I don't know about it. And I guess because it's an Apple show, it doesn't necessarily matter. But I was reading this whole thing about that apparently Apple does not allow villains in different networked shows to hold Apple phones.
Oh,
So
that's
like
interesting. Wow.
so
Yeah.
if they don't have an Apple, it could mean that they're a villain, although it's I guess because it's an Apple show that may not matter here, but I don't think it doesn't look like an iPhone.
No, it doesn't. No. Doesn't look like a Samsung either, for that
No,
matter.
I don't know beyond an Apple.
Yeah.
I have an
Yeah.
Apple. My dad has a Samsung and I hate his phone. I don't know how he uses it. So beyond that, I don't. I It's funny. I grew up with PCs, always hating Macs. I could not stand Macs because we had them in like elementary and high school, and I always
Right.
liked PCs. But then I grew up and I get an iPhone, and I never go back. So still
There
have a
you go.
PC, but yeah. And Cassie says, I love that he doesn't like her. Yes, I like that he hated Sissy too. And he says that he even says he liked her mother, and it was because her mother didn't like Lumen, but he did not like Sissy. Susie is mentioning another, or no, that might have been the same kind of ether she said before. Petroleum ether is a volatile
Hydrocarbon.
aliphatic hydrocarbon, so it can definitely get you high, have euphoric effects. It'd essentially be like huffing gasoline, kind of.
Hmm.
Probably get very sick if you huff gasoline, though, too much, I think.
Oh yeah,
Getting a headache.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the point is these people in the town are always high and he's selling it. So he's like a druggie because of it. I
Oh,
would
where
say.
is he getting it from? That factory closed down so long ago.
I
So
don't
he's
know.
obviously just getting it from somewhere else, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
I was trying to look up right before the show started, and then I ran out of time. It looks like the stuff that you use to make ether you can buy without a license, from what I gathered with the little bit of research I did, because
Mm.
I kind of questioned that, but I'm assuming that he's making it. Um, Wait, what? Susie, are you just trying to connect Yellow Jackets to the show? She read an article about its effects on animals. They get real fucked up most of the time, resort to cannibalism. Yeah, that sounds a lot like Yellow Jackets, not like the show, but no, I'm sure that it has a lot of bad effects. I mean, that's why I would assume they don't really use ether. I don't think anymore for for amnesia, for
For
what's the word?
anesthesia.
Anesthesia, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I know that I even really thought about the fact that they used to use ether for that is because of Outlander. Um, so yeah. So let's see. So they go to the house, and I didn't even realize it till after that's the house they go to. Like it's on that, I don't know what you want to call that cliff thing.
Yeah.
It's just, that's like the lone house out there. It's kind of would be creepy to live out there, I would
It's so
think.
strange. It's like what, maybe 20 people live in this place. That's
Yeah, it's
it.
a really well, I think most people left when Lumen left. It sounds like they all packed up
Mhm.
and took off because the town was so run down.
Yeah,
But
she even said when she came into the diner, she said the town is older and frailer
yeah,
because
yeah,
everybody left. All the young people left, and
yeah.
this is who you have left there. That's right.
Michael says the episode kind of reminds me of the Ring Town. Do you mean from the movie The Ring, or am I not knowing of definition of that? I'm assuming he might mean from the movie The Ring, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 that makes sense.
I'm trying
Because
to
the
remember
ring,
what the town from that movie looked like. It
well,
just made me
yeah,
think of Haven.
in the
Yeah.
ring, remember that scene where the horses went over the cliff into the water?
Oh yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
I
it
do
does
vaguely
look like
remember
that.
that.
It does.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but you might. Yeah,
Hmm.
I kind
Yeah,
of remember.
Michael, I agree. I think it looks a lot like that.
Yeah. When you said it filmed in Newfoundland, did you look that up, or I mean, I assume you looked that up. You weren't just
I
guessing,
looked
right?
that up. I
Okay.
looked
All
it
right.
up. Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
That's what I wondered.
Oh
All
no,
right.
that wasn't a
Oh,
guess.
no, no, I just wasn't sure. I was making sure.
Yeah.
So she goes up to the house, and Sissy comes out, and she looks like I don't know if that's supposed to be a nightgown or what, but she looks like she could be from a cult, the way she's dressed.
And you know
Um,
who Jane Alexander is? I didn't recognize her at first. I mean, she's a
the
famous
name
actress in
sounds
like the
familiar.
80s. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say that name. You know what? Now that you said that name sounds so familiar. Is she in? I hesitate to say that because then I feel stupid if I'm completely wrong. But I feel like, was she in Haven? 'Cause that
Well,
name sounds so familiar, and I was
she's been in a
wondering.
lot of things.
She might have been. You said that, and I'm like thinking, I wonder if she was, because that would be really funny after my call, after what I said earlier, if she was. I'm looking,
She's
finding
a great
Haven.
actress.
No, it doesn't pop up under her list of movies, so I don't know. I just
Okay.
wondered. I don't know what I know her from. Something. Now I lost my picture. She says she's not welcome, and she also calls him a huff peddler. They've definitely made multiple references that he sells this ether. Because Harmony says she gave him his thirst for it. That's where she says that she's got a liar's mouth. Okay, wait. Okay, Doc says I posted screenshots of the possible Puppet Master Easter egg on the Severance Season 2 channel on the Sci-Fi Vision Discord. Thank you. I will have to look at it after. Because it's hard to, I don't know if I can, I guess I can probably, I think I have to switch what I share to. Let me see if I can find it really quick. It's in Severance Season 2. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, when we get to those, when we get to the tempers, remind me and I'll switch over to those because we're not quite there yet. So we'll wait till we get there. So she kind of forces her way in, and she goes up to her room, which is empty. She's gotten rid of all her stuff. All she sees are, you could see it in that one picture. Went too fast. The height chart, whatever you want to call it, when you draw on the wall when you're a kid.
Yeah. Do you have that picture? Do you have that?
I think I have a better picture of it later, but I think it's after she goes back down and talks to Sissy. That lady is really tall. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. She was pretty tall at 12, wasn't she? If she was almost that tall at 12. That's a good point. But Sissy says that she sold her stuff. I don't know. That seems like that picture's out of order. Sometimes I wonder if some of them are out of order because I know I got a picture of the wall too. So I wonder if somehow I took that out of order or something went wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Because there's back in the bedroom. Okay. I have no idea. Yes, her aunt's tall too, Susie. You're right. I just meant by this chart. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be something specifically. I mean, it's some kind of little stuffed toy. That's the only thing that was left. I feel like that has to mean something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I was looking at that
furry thing. Yeah. There's the chart.
There's
I
the
thought I
wall.
had a better picture. Yeah.
Okay, so it says age 12. So at 12 years old, she left to go to school. That's what happened.
Probably, yeah. I would say that's probably when she left.
Yeah.
And then when she goes into the hall, there you can see the sign. It says quarterly striver, fourth quarter year of vision. That's what I was talking about the year of. And it says youth apprentice matron Celestine Sissy Cobel. So that's her plaque. That's like her award plaque. And you can see it says Lumon at the top. You can kind of tell if you look.
So she was a youth apprentice.
Yeah. So she had something she got an award for too. So she tries to go into her mother's bedroom and it's locked. And she goes downstairs and she's like, let me in. And that's when she says she sold her things. She asks if anybody's been there and she tells them that they haven't, but she admits that a Mr. Drummond called, but she won't tell her what he said. And she's like, what have you done, little mouse? And that's when she rips the phone out of the wall and says she wants the key, which she won't give her. So she says, Sissy says, why do you bring nothing but woe into my life? So there's another mention of one of the tempers.
Right. Another temper. Whoa.
Yeah, and she says it's you that cursed this house with woe. And then Cobel asks her what her mother's last words were because she says that she didn't say anything when she, as she says, I quote, pulled the tube from her gullet. So it's definitely insinuating in these scenes that she was on life support and had some kind of ventilator, and that she let her die, took out the tube when she died, something to that effect. But she does slap her after she says that. And she says that she was had gratitude to be freed from her suffering. If only she had been a believer, perhaps she would have found solace in the 9. So again, the 9 principles. Right. And she says that she would have cared for her, but she was in school. And Sissy says that's where she belonged, that Kier saw, or Mr. Egan saw Kier in her. And that she talks about the fellowship and says even at the factory, no apprentice was more industrious than her. But she's sad because she didn't get to tell her goodbye. And she's still nasty to her and says she was a disappointment. And she says that if she returns and pleads forgiveness, the Egans will grant it. And she says, "Will they show mercy like she did for her mother?"
Yeah, right.
That wasn't very nice. Yeah. Now, at
Right.
this point, Sissy's holding, I guess what we came to the conclusion was a rock with Kier's face on it that she's
Yeah, I was
rubbing.
wondering what that was. That was a rock she was
That's,
holding?
it looked like a rock to me, and it kind of looked like it had a face on it. And I forget,
Ah,
somebody in the chat said they thought it was Kier's face. So we'll go with that.
hmm, okay.
Okay, so
Sounds
then
good to
she
me.
goes up to, she does say all she'll find is pain upstairs, but she goes upstairs. Wait, sorry, I'm scrolling in my text document. She's still looking for the key. She dumps out a lot of stuff. We'll get a better look at some of these things as I got more pictures of it. But she dumps out that box. She's trying to find the
Yeah.
key. It's a bunch of stuff. I believe that this, it's hard to see because it's so dark. I think that this is a card from a funeral. Because it looks really familiar. I feel like I've seen it before, and I think maybe it was
Yes, it
it's like the
is.
card that you get. It's probably from her mother's
Yeah,
funeral.
that's
So
what it
these
is.
are all like her mother's effects and stuff that were there. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess if she wasn't there, her aunt couldn't give them to her. But then again, it was her sister. So, and we only
Right.
know that Sissy is her aunt because it's mentioned in the behind the scenes thing that was after the episode on Apple.
That's
Because
right.
I thought when I first watched this that Sissy meant it was Cobel's sister, but that was her name. I was told that, and they were right. That she's the
Yeah,
aunt.
her
So.
name was Celestine.
Yeah, so it was Sissy for short.
Mhm.
So she keeps looking for the key. That's a good shot showing the mirror. Now,
Well, what are all those things up there? Somebody was mentioning those four.
yeah, let me
Are
see.
those
I
the
think I
four?
have,
Are those the four tempers?
yes, they are. I have a
Hmm.
better picture somewhere. Let me see. Geez, I took quite a few, didn't I, trying to get it? I think
There's a ram's head there,
wait,
and
we'll go back to look at the other
yeah.
ones, but let's scoot forward. Somewhere here I took a close-up of them. So you can tell I took a lot. There you can kind of see the ram, which is I think Malice. The bride is woe, right? What
Yeah,
are the, and the
yeah.
jester is frolic. Frolic, malice, woe, and what's the other one?
Uh,
I feel like it's something that means anger, but I can't think of what it is.
I can't think right now.
Or tempers or
But you
here.
got the other three right.
Woe,
Yes.
frolic, dread, and malice. I think that woman, the old woman, I think is dread.
Dread. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So let's look at the rest of the room, and then we'll go back and we'll look at Doc's pictures. But let's get through the rest of this first. So I'm not going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right. So I would like to know what those badges are. It looks like it says Lumen Ether. Maybe they're Ethereum badges.
Yes,
No.
it does. It says Lumen Ether.
So they look like there's some kind of badges she earned, maybe. I don't know. James Egan assumes role of Lumen CEO, so she's got different newspaper articles. Open Door. There's goats on that thing. There's it looks like a Lumen drop up here. So there's a lot of different
Yeah.
stuff going on in this room. There's a Kier altar down here.
And there's another newspaper on the wall, but I can't see what it says.
Yeah, I think when I got closer, no, maybe not. I thought I got a better picture. It just says the open door. It's not, you can't, I
Right.
can't read it. It's not clear enough.
Right.
Okay. And then I took a picture of this. It says thing that the earth, it looks like it says verve anew. I don't know if that's what it says or that's part of a word, but that's why I had taken the picture of it.
Thing that the earth. What's the other?
I don't know. That looks like verve, but that might be part of another word, not actually verve. I don't know for sure.
And then it says anew. Anew.
Yeah, I don't know.
That the earth.
Some
Yeah, I'm not sure. Verb anew.
Yeah, I don't know. And then this, whatever this is. And now this, I was trying to figure out what this was. And if somebody has an idea, let me know. It looks like a little teeny tiny tree stump with arms and legs to me.
Oh, it's verve. It's verve. You see, it's verve. That card says verve.
No,
and
I see.
That's what it said on the wall. It said verve.
Right. I mean, what's this thing? I mean.
Oh. I don't know.
That was what I mean. Yes, I can read. It says verb. Yes, I see
Yeah,
verb.
yeah.
Those are all the 9 principles: vision,
Right,
benevolence, property, wealth. No, I
right.
meant that thing. It looks like
Oh,
bones coming out of a little tiny tree trunk. I haven't the slightest clue what it's supposed to be.
oh, I'm not sure either.
But if anybody knows, let us know. But
Yeah.
that shows. I don't know because it almost reminds me of like tarot cards or something. The way they're laid out.
Mhm.
It's
It
interesting. A
does.
vertebrae. It could be a vertebrae, Michael. That's good. I, I don't know that your vertebrae would be that big, but I guess if that was part of your ribs, it could be interesting. I'm not sure why they would have a vertebrae, but why she would, but
Mhm.
I don't know. That's interesting. It
Okay.
does kind of look like a vertebrae. He's right.
Right.
Not that I've ever looked at a vertebrae outside somebody's body, but I see where he's going with it. It does kind of look like that. So she opens that, and it looks like also, I just want to mention, it looks like there's hair coming out of that when she dumps it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was
looks like
wondering
hair.
what that was too. Some
But
kind of hair.
yeah, it might, maybe it was part of her mother's, who knows. There's the little altar for Kier. I think I have a
Uh-huh.
couple pictures of that. And flowers. I'm not sure what kind of flowers there those are, but I'm sure that they have some kind of meaning. I'm not good
Magnolia.
with magnolias,
What are
maybe.
they?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody has mentioned what they are, but I don't know. And that says you must be cut to heal, which we know from before was one of Kier's sayings. And there are the 4 tempers. Now let's switch over now that we're actually here.
What is
And
she
let's
holding in her hand there? What is that?
it's some kind of plant. It looks like a fake plant. I don't know if it's part of those flowers or it's fake. I'm not
Uh-huh.
entirely sure. But it's near where she finds the key. But let me see if I can stop this a second. Let me try to, I don't know if I can I share it this way? Let me see if this works. I don't know. We're going to try and find out here. I don't know if I can. There. I guess that shares that. Yeah, it did. It worked. Okay. These are the pictures that Doc sent. So
Uh-huh.
thank you, Doc, that he put in the chat. So there you can see the 4 tempers
Okay.
a little bit
Right.
better. So that's malice, woe, frolic, and dread, I guess. And okay. Now this, I guess, is what he was saying was like puppet master kind of. Yeah, it does
Oh,
kind of resemble that. It does.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, they do look like puppets, but they look like I think they're supposed to be paper mache. At least that's what they looked like to me.
Yeah.
And I just shut Discord completely. That was not what I meant to do. Hold on, I gotta open Discord back. Give me 1 second. So I at least have it open if anybody messages me. I did not mean to completely shut it. Okay. So let's go back to share screen and we'll go back to the image. There we go. All right. And the other thing I didn't do, I meant to do, hold on, give me 1 second. If anybody does want to call in, I didn't want to copy the link in the chat in case somebody wants to give us your thoughts out loud. If you haven't been interacting in the chat or we don't know who you are, just make sure you tell us in the chat first because we don't want people posting porn like we had happened once before. I don't know if you were there when that happened back then, but uh,
Yeah, but
somebody,
I didn't see it.
no, somebody
You were
came in and
quick.
was posting porn pictures. Before we knew it, before we could stop it. It was one of our first shows using StreamYard, so we learned quickly not to just let
You
any.
did stop it though. You shut it off right away. So
Oh,
I
I
didn't see
shut it
it.
off as soon as I saw it, but
Yeah.
yeah, so you have to be careful. But I've heard other people have some issues. So James says it could be a CO vertebrae. Could be. I just wonder why they would have. It just seems odd. Like, why would you have a vertebrae? You know,
Yeah. Yeah. It must be
I get
something
the
like,
seals like that, the seal that they found for. The little buster of the tempers, I think it's an Easter egg or nod to Puppet Master. Yeah, it definitely could be, but I think for the most part, it's also to
maybe
you know,
it's for lighting like a candle. Maybe there's something that she would light in there. It's shaped strangely, but maybe it's some kind of candle.
maybe I don't know. It looks like it was attached to the container that she
Yeah,
picked
it
out.
may have been a candle that it had an insert, so you put the candle in and it's attached to the outside.
Oh, well, when it, like, sits on top of it. Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know. I don't
yes,
use candles because my allergies, so
right.
all
But
I know about
usually
a candle is you light them. I don't know.
but usually when there's an altar, they do light a candle. They light something. So that could have been what it was.
Yeah, there was a candle sitting there, but I don't know what it was. You're right, it might have been
Mhm.
connected to that, I don't know. Um, so where was I at?
Doc says
I
that
lost
those
on that.
little Doc said the little bust that of the Tempers,
Yeah.
he thinks it's an Easter egg as a nod to the puppet master.
Yeah, that was the thing I put the pictures up of that
Right,
were puppets from Puppet Master.
right.
Uh, Susie says it definitely looks like bone because it has those little tiny holes on the side. It did kind of look like a bone. I just couldn't figure out what it was, but I do agree that if you look at it a certain way, it does kind of look like a vertebrae. So Doc maybe or Michael, whoever said that. I was it Michael or Doc. One of them.
Michael,
Michael said it.
Michael.
Michael. Yeah, you could be right. Again, I don't know why you'd have a vertebrae, but you know, you never know. These people do some weird things. So okay, so then she took the key out of that box and she uses it to unlock her mother's room. She goes in. We see the hospital bed and also her clothes. You can't tell what that is, but it's clothes that have holes in them. They look like they're moth eaten, so that stuff's been there a long time. It's been left there, but we already kind of knew that. And then that picture of her. So she had a picture of her daughter in there too, um, which makes it
Yes, that's
sadder.
her. That's her at school.
With
Yes.
yeah, it's a picture we've seen before. So she gets really upset. She pulls out, and this is the odd bit that a lot of people have talked about. She pulls out that breathing tube that she had, and she connects it to this machine, which I don't know if it's on this one. You can tell on the next picture. I questioned that looked more like a sleep apnea the machine than a
It says
ventilator.
apnea.
And it says
Yeah.
apnea. But I did look it up. It's I don't know. The first thing I looked up said that a ventilator is not likely to say apnea on it. But
No.
then I saw it says that CPAP machines aren't limited to treating sleep apnea, that they're commonly used as a life support device in medical emergencies. So it is possible that it was a sleeping device they turned into a ventilator. But I have to wonder, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but there was this thing I think it was in the oh, I always forget the name of them. That book, not the UUR, the thing that was released before that, the Lexington letters. There
Mhm.
was something about somebody being sued, and I forget exactly what it said. Maybe somebody in the chat remembers, but it made me think that maybe it was connected to that. It was like about they made breathing apparatuses or something. I don't know. So I had always wondered if whatever it was, they didn't make it right. And that was why her mother died. But that's not what it's implying in this episode. So I don't
Also,
know.
apneas have to do with the amount of times I think that you stop breathing. So that's why they
That I
call it
don't know.
sleep apnea. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
just,
my take on this is that I think it's just a regular oxygen machine. That's my take on it.
yeah,
I don't think her mother had sleep apnea. I think she had lung damage from the ether.
yeah, very much
Yeah.
might be. But I think it's supposed to be some kind of ventilator or something that they had hooked up to her. I mean, it's definitely implied by the conversations they have that um either her aunt or her mother herself pulled the tube out and killed herself. I mean, you get that out of the conversation they're having.
Right. Right.
I just kind of wondered if maybe that wasn't actually the case and that's what she thought happened. And I mean, we don't really know because she wasn't there. For all we know, Sissy could have killed her in a completely different way. We don't know.
That's right. That's right.
But she plugs the hose into the machine. She lays down on the bed and she starts breathing through it, which is kind of a little gross. Like I get it. She's trying to
Yeah,
be
I
close
thought
to
it
her,
was
but it is
really
kind of gross. And I hope she cleaned it. That's all I gotta say is after decades, I hope she cleaned
but
it.
there's a reason why she did this too, because when you're grieving and you don't have time to process the grief, sometimes you want to re-experience what the person went through when they died, because for her it was very traumatic. So by
Yeah.
laying down and putting that tube in her mouth and trying to envision what her mother had felt like and went through, she was able to finally cry, and for her, it was very healing, I think. I think this is a
Yeah.
very important part of the episode.
No, I agree. It's just the way they did it was a little bit weird, but yeah, I mean, I understand. Let's see. Susie says it also implied that whatever made her sick was something to do with Lumen. I don't know. Just feels like it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could have been that she was sick from the ether. It could have been something else. We really don't know. I always got the opinion that perhaps it was Lumen's fault that her mother died, though,
Oh,
because I
yeah,
do think that her mother, or that she definitely blames them for what happened to her mother.
well, her mother was addicted to the ether, and it
Yeah,
destroyed her
probably.
lungs. Yeah.
I
Now
think that's
Cassie's
a good
Cassie
assumption.
said that she uses the CPAP, so she thinks that's a breathing tube, or it could have been a feeding tube also. I think it is a breathing tube. I
Yeah,
think it's oxygen. Yeah.
it's a breathing tube. It does look like it could be a CPAP, though. I don't know. My dad has a CPAP. It does look like it could be,
Well,
but
with a CPAP, it goes over your nose, though,
it the
so
it
it's like a
yeah, that
mask.
end of the hose isn't quite the same. But that being said, I'm guessing that back then it may have been made different too, because I know they're made different now than they were, a few years ago.
Yeah,
But like I said, it does say that it can be used as a life support device in an emergency. So
right,
um, it could just be a CPAP, and they turned it into that. It's not necessarily relevant like I thought maybe it was.
right. It
But
was some kind of breathing apparatus, something to help her breathe.
yeah, it was something that
Let's
gave
just
her.
say that.
And I do think that the machine reminds me of what you see of like a ventilator, but it kind of looks like an old version of it. And I mean, her mother died, like I said, I think it was supposed to be decades ago. She was little. Yeah, it had to be decades ago. So it might have been back then. That's what it looked like too.
Yeah. Yeah, because at that time, sleep apnea was not on the radar the way it is today.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
probably used a different machine altogether. Yeah.
definitely. But she starts to cry and she like wails as she cries. And they show this the like icebergs out there and then the waves. Was trying to figure out, it sounds like maybe her cries actually they turned into like whale cries. It was hard to tell if that was still her making noise or not, but
Yes. Yeah, she was wailing. Yes.
so it wasn't still her voice. That's what I was wondering. I wasn't entirely sure if they had faded it into actual whales or it was just her still crying, but
Oh, no, it was her wailing. It was her.
yeah, it's odd the way they brought the water up though. I'm not sure what exactly it represents, but
Yeah.
Um, she fell asleep in the bed, and Hampton comes in. And this is where I said, if you read the captions, they're yelling at each other. She says that you have no salvation here, you blighted snuff slave. And he says, all right, I miss you too. You smell like crow skin. So I don't. But she threatens to call someone, and he comes up the stairs. And when she asks what happened, he says nothing, but that he came to get her because it was cold in the truck, and Sissy wasn't happy. And he says, she says she has to find it. And he says he always liked her mother because she hated Lumen more than he did, and that's all he needed to know.
Mhm.
And they say at least she doesn't have to live with Sissy anymore. So he comes over, he sits on the bed, and he's like, "Do you want to get high?" That was an odd scene. So he uses the ether and then she uses the ether, and he laughs and coughs. And she says she hasn't done it since she was 8. And it's like, you've been
Can you
huffing
imagine at
cigarettes
8
since you
years
were
old
8?
doing that? Oh,
Yeah,
8
that's
years old.
really sad.
That's
But
traumatic that a
it sounds
child
like
should be
she
doing
may
that.
not have
Yeah.
had a great home life. It's hard. I mean, I don't know, but I kind of get that idea. Her mother was sick. We don't know if she was really taken care of. I don't know. The fact that she was taking drugs at 8 isn't good. But
No.
he says you're ready to man the vat for 10 hours. So they're talking about when they worked at the factory. But she says that it's shameful that he sells it. And then this is where, and I couldn't get a picture. It was so dark, you couldn't really see him kissing. So I didn't get a picture of them kissing. But as before they kissed, I'm thinking she's looking at him like she wants to kiss him. And I didn't think she was really going to. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about their relationship? Let's stop a second. Talk about. I, I mean, I guess we really don't know a whole lot, but I think, like you said, I think that he got upset when she left because he
Hmm.
didn't get to go with her.
Yeah. I think that when they were kids, they were very connected. They worked together, they liked each other, and obviously they had some kind of romantic relationship because they kissed each other. Uh,
Yeah,
but she decided to leave. And
yeah,
I think he was very hurt that she left him.
yeah,
And then when she came back, he's like, "So why are you here now?"
yeah. But it got
So
her out
you
of
have
that town. I don't blame her for leaving.
no, but you have to wonder, how long has it been since she's been back? Is this the first time she's come back since her mother died? I guess so. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Point. Yeah, I
And
don't know.
how old was she when her mother died? Do we know that?
Um, I mean, I assume that she was young because she was still, well, she said she was at school. I think that's really the only
I mean, she
indication
said
we
she didn't
have
have a chance to say goodbye,
because
and
she was at school.
she said, "I would have taken care of her, but I was at school."
Yeah,
So,
so I'm
yeah.
assuming high school from what I mean, it could have been earlier, but I'm assuming it might have been high school. Yeah, I don't know, but she was not home and she obviously didn't get over it, which
No.
which is understandable. But it's
Yeah.
kind of surprising she didn't come back till now. But maybe she couldn't. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
Maybe
she could
she
deal
couldn't
with
deal
it.
with
I
it.
think it was too painful for her. I think like Mark, like she kind of pushes away the trauma and the pain, and she didn't want to think about it. So she kind of threw herself into her work at Lumen. I mean, Lumen really did a horrible thing to her. They took away her plans for this chip. They don't give her the recognition for it. They gave her like a lower level management position.
Mhm.
And she's been burning with anger all this time and grief. So she probably couldn't handle going back home until now.
Yeah. But I definitely think that Lumen is going to regret what they did. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like you don't want to piss off Cobel.
No.
Um, but yeah. So,
Because
she.
yeah,
Sorry.
I,
Go.
I was just gonna say that Sissy said to her, why didn't you come and tell me this before, that you're the one that invented this? And she said, because they threatened me with banishment. So
Yeah.
being banished was the most horrific thing to her at the time. But
Yeah.
now she is kind of banished, right? That
Yeah.
since she's gone, they fired her. So now
Yeah.
she has nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah. I think that and we said this, me and Karen said this before in the show. I think that she's a strong believer in Kier. She seems to be. And I
Hmm.
think she still may be, but not so much in Lumen
Yes.
anymore.
I don't even know if she really is that much of a believer in Kier anymore either.
I
I
don't
think
know.
she's
She was
I think she's
brainwashed,
become
that's for sure.
I think she's become very disillusioned with Kier. But yeah, definitely not Lumen, because Lumen is exploiting Kier's name and Kier's memory for their own
Yeah,
profit.
that's the question too. Like, it sound obviously Jamie Egan exploited it too. So the Egan family isn't so great, but I mean, Kier was an Egan, so I don't know if that's something he knew about, or I mean, or well, not knew about because it was way before. But I mean, like, is the whole family corrupt? Is it just that guy? Is it have to do more to do with Lumen? I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
Right. I mean, the whole family could have been corrupt from the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
but Kier became this guru. So, and people followed him. He may have had good intentions, but his descendants, no, they started making money, and that's all they cared about.
yeah. I wish that they'd tell us more about Kira. Like, I think it'd be cool if they did like a ARG on the
Yeah.
side of get a Kleenex. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on.
Yeah, I would like to see Kier in a backstory, actually. I'd like to know more about him, what happened to him. Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Wait, I think I'm sneezing. I usually sneeze like 3 or 4 times, so I figure I'm not done.
Me too. It's allergies.
Yeah, I got bad allergies. But yeah, I was saying I'd like to see more about Kira, even if it was like in a side story, like that we got more information, even if it wasn't
Hmm.
in the show. I'd like to
Yeah,
like to
I
see that.
agree.
That would be fun. But
Mhm.
so Sissy's yelling that they got to get out. She says that Sissy wouldn't throw it away, what she's looking for. So then she goes into this. I don't know if it's a storm cellar. I don't know if it's a root cellar. I thinking root cellar because of lost from
Okay.
lost. No, I was
You're
thinking of
lost, right?
from. I call it
The
from
from
lost.
root cellar. Yes, yes.
But yeah, it's some kind of storm cellar slash root cellar slash thing. But anyway, she goes in there to look. He doesn't go in with her, but she does go down. There's a lot of stuff in there. It looks like a sort of cave. It reminds you of the root cellar, so I don't
Yeah,
know. But
right.
she goes through the different things. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see what the stuff is at that point. But she finds this book. Everything is always. They talk so weird, and they even mark their yearbooks weird. Annual reminiscences is what it says.
That's what it
From
says.
the Myrtle Egan School for Girls. Yeah. So yeah, reminiscences is I can't even talk. Um, Vic says it reminded her from, yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it looks like that. That's why I said I don't know if it's a root cellar or a storm cellar. I don't know what the difference is. I just know in from they call it a root cellar. So that's why I said that. But she opens the yearbook. I know I got some pictures in it. Okay, so
Mm,
this was, I can't read that other than it says go fighting kids. I'm not sure, some kind of team of some kind. It looks
yeah.
like golf or cricket. I'm not entirely sure. And then this says that she was honored with valedictorian. Now, you said there's something you told me it said in your book that I don't remember what it was, but you said earlier. What do you remember what it was you told me that I said well, that we'd get to it? I don't remember now what it was.
Yes, it was about the goats that she something with the goat husbandry process that she
Is
was in
it?
charge of that.
Do you know where it's at? Like, was it in this?
I read it. I read it somewhere else. I didn't read it on here because I couldn't see it, but somebody
Yeah,
else had mentioned it.
yeah.
Um, I'm trying to read it. It's hard to read.
The beacon of
So,
excellence and leadership, something class throughout the high school, something academic pursuits,
year of something
something challenging
graduating.
subjects beyond it. I don't know. I know it does say at the on her thing that it's the year of Wiles, but there it says
Yeah,
James Egan's Winterside.
yeah.
Sorry,
Here she is
Winterside Fellowship.
with Jane Egan. Yes,
Yeah, Jamie Egan. Yeah,
there she is.
I'm sure some. Oh wait, there. What can we read
Yeah.
that? During a special ceremony, James Egan presented Harmony Cobel with something Wintertide Fellowship. Harmony Cobel's outstanding earned her the. I'm trying to see if there's anything about that. That's
I think
all
it
we've
is
got.
in there. Can we make that lighter?
Um, yes, but I'd have to do it in Photoshop, and I'd have to stop for like 10 minutes to go
Oh,
do
no,
it.
no,
So,
no, no. It's okay.
when I from here, I don't know how you would. I mean, I can
Okay,
zoom in.
I'm gonna take a screenshot and see if I can make it lighter. Let me
Yeah, I
see.
can even send you the screenshot later. I can put it in Discord. Yeah, I didn't think to sharpen or lighten or anything. I just took the pictures. But let's see. There's a teddy bear. I don't know if that has a reference to something.
Mhm.
But she pulls out James Egan's head, and it says on it, James Egan Wintertide Fellowship, Harmony Cobel, Year of Wiles. And
Uh-huh.
yes, Vic said Year of Vision was what Sissy got, the award she got that was on the wall. Um, does the lumen symbol usually have that weird upside down hooky thing?
No, it doesn't.
Because that's
That's
really
strange.
odd. I don't know what
Yeah.
that's supposed to be. Don't know.
Hmm.
But she takes it, she finds something to open it, and she pulls a notebook out of it. And let's see.
That was smart. That was a smart place to hide it.
Yeah, it was.
Because Sissy wouldn't throw out that bust of Jane Egan. No way.
Right, you're right. She says, oh, wait, hold on. Susie says, isn't it the droplet? It doesn't look like I guess it could be. It looks
It
more
looks
like
like a
a hook
hook.
or something to me.
Yeah, it looks like a hook.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be though. Okay, let's see. Vic says wiles, devious or cunning stratagems employed in manipulating or persuading someone to do what one wants. Yes. However, it's supposed to be a good quality because it's one of the 9 principles of Kier.
Jamie, can you go back to that fellowship page for a minute? Because I want to take a screenshot of it. Let me see if I can lighten it. Yeah.
That page? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
Mhm.
put it in Discord if that's easier.
Can you do a close up on it? Because this is a far away shot. Yeah. A
That
little
one's not
closer.
really in focus. Did I have another one that was more in focus? Because that one I can't read. Or
This
was this
one.
what you wanted? That
Okay,
one.
yeah, yeah, let me do that one. And then
Okay.
the other one as well. Also the other one you just had.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. Hold on. Can you
Yeah.
get
I
in
don't
closer? Can you get in
yeah.
closer?
I don't
Let's
think
see.
you can read it though. It's very
Yeah, hold on.
yeah, we'll get better
Yeah.
shots of them. And like I said, I can put it in Discord later rather than I don't know that you try to take a screen capture is going to work as well as me sending you the original. It might work better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
But
okay. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'll see if I can lighten it, but you can send it to me later in Discord. Yeah.
okay, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I could try to. I just figure if I stop to lighten it, we're going to be
No,
sitting here.
no, no.
So,
It's okay.
uh,
I'll see if I could do it.
okay, because I can. I was something I did before. I used my AI to make something bigger, but that the darkness you'd have to use Photoshop or something to mess with it. So she goes back in. She tells Sissy that she's going and not to tell anybody they're there. And that's when she says, I would never bear falsity to a steward of the Egans. And she says, Lumen destroyed this town. You owe them no loyalty. And that's when she said there was no town before the factory. And she says that, what about her own employee and that everything she has, she owes back to Egan's as fealty. And that's when she starts saying that no, she doesn't because it's mine. These are her designs. And she shows her in the notebook here. I got pictures in a notebook.
Mhm.
There's those I think are brainwaves. This is standard severed brainwaves. Yep. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it shows that's that thing that Ragabi when she was like separating or combining or whatever the brainwaves before.
Yes.
I
Right.
think that's what it's from. And then this is some kind of I don't know. I don't know what it is. It looks like geometry or something. I don't know.
Right.
Um I never thought like I should have went through and tried to read these things and type them out so you could read them. But I didn't think about it till now.
That's all
But
right.
I'm sure somebody has done that. But she said she describes it as circuit blueprint base code, and she says also the overtime contingency and the Glasgow block that
Actually,
she
those two things are very advanced because I
yeah
think the first thing they would make is the severance chip, right? And then the overtime contingency
was part of
and
it. Yeah,
right, it came after that. So
yeah. It
she designed this
definitely
whole thing.
implies to me that she may have made the severance chip in the first place.
But to me,
Um,
that is so unrealistic. I mean,
it is
she had to be a
unrealistic.
teenager when she did it. Maybe she
Well,
was
I mean, she
17.
could be a genius, but
Nah,
I
it's
still
hard to believe.
question. Yeah, I mean, to think that, I mean, when she got the Wintertide Fellowship, I think it was supposed to be after she graduated. So it's possible that these things were after the fact. Um, but like I said, I wonder whether it's believable or not. I think this may be implying that she actually created the severance procedure. I don't know that that's a huge leap from this. Whether, like I said, whether it's believable or not is a separate issue. But
Right.
I don't know. Do you think that's what it's implying? I think it
Yes.
heavily is
Yes.
implying that.
It's implying that she invented the entire process.
Yeah, which is really interesting. And you think about all that they've done, like because they took it from her and what that could mean and how much she could screw them up if she, understands the workings and created it or whatever. Um,
Oh, yeah. She could
so
do a
yeah,
lot of damage. A
because
lot of damage.
actually, you know what? This right here, that's a picture of the chip because you know that little the booklet that they showed, I think it was in the Lexington letters. That had like a little animated chip.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
it looked like.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So I would definitely say that this is implying she made the chip for sure. Can you read it now? Yeah, it looked to me like it said wing something, so I knew I was reading it wrong.
It's hard to see
Couldn't it
it.
be an equivalent to if Miss Huang invented
It
something? She's
says
really
chip,
smart. Could be.
something chip, sensor.
Yeah, it is beneath
Let me take it with
the
another phone. Hold on.
is beneath the something casing. Yeah. I'm gonna have to I wish I had thought to do it before now, and I apologize that I didn't because I feel like I really should have done that. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use Photoshop later and try to brighten these things and sharpen them and see if I can get information out of exactly what it says. And if I do, I'll have to make a video or something on it. I'm also in the middle of writing a recap for it. I'm almost done with for this episode because it was shorter. So since I had so much, I was formatting it, and I'm gonna put that up probably tomorrow on scifivision.com. So look for more. All right.
Okay, I'm brightening it right now. Let me see if I can do that.
Okay. If it makes it well enough to see. I know that you can download ultra high def versions of the episodes too, which might make a difference, but I don't, my monitor is only 2K and all of them say like if you don't have the right monitor, it's gonna be purple and not work. So I never
Yeah,
bothered trying, but I probably should do that as well. It might make it clearer. Or try to watch it on the TV too. Like I'm looking at it on a computer monitor. The
right.
television might help.
The only
Um,
thing I just see the words chip, sensor. It lies beneath the cortex, is it? Something
um,
covering and something. I
but to,
can't
yeah,
read it all, but
well,
it implies the chip. So it's
yeah.
definitely the chip. She
Yeah.
invented this chip. Yeah.
Yes, I would say that probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't outright say that, but I think that's definitely what it's saying.
Yeah, it implies that. Yes.
So Sizzy at first is like, Jane Egan was the inventor of everything. And then she sees it and she says it's extraordinary. And she does like kind of admit that she did. And she's like, why have you never spoken of this? And she said, I was told Kira's knowledge is for all, and that if I sought credit, I would be banished. And Sissy tries to burn the notebook to get rid of the evidence. There's the chip. That's the inside of the chip. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even
That's
realize
it.
that came out the diagram. And
Yes.
look,
Yes.
there's a lumen drop. So
Yes.
wow, that to me, now that I actually look at it close up, that looks like a circuit board inside the chip.
Yes. It is.
Yeah,
Yep.
very interesting. Interesting.
So our Cobel is a genius.
Yeah,
she
that's cool. And
she
that I don't know
she
what
could
that
have
is.
gotten a job doing something else.
Yeah, she definitely could have. But she tries to take it and throw it in the fire, but she stops her. And I went too far ahead because I don't have enough captures here. She says, Cobel says, I hope you die as painful as she did. And then Sissy says, it was your mother's hand that removed the tube, not mine. And that she was a coward, more sick in the soul than in the body, filled with malice. We got another temper there, and
Yeah.
resentment. And Cobel says, I don't believe you. And she says, I thought you were different, my flower. Like they talk so much. Like I tried to help you grow, but now I
Yes.
see you're a weed just like she was. So yeah,
Yes.
they do not like each other. There's no love lost between them.
No.
So outside, Hampton's blaring the horn saying, someone's coming. So I'm guessing that she did call somebody. I mean, we don't know for sure, but I'm guessing she called somebody.
Mhm.
And he says that she better get going and that he'll see her around. And she takes a truck and drives off without him. So apparently she's more worried about getting out of there than getting seen. Although
I
it's
mean,
not her
why did
truck.
she leave him there? I mean, I didn't understand that.
Well, I guess the idea was more she couldn't take her own truck because they'd recognize it. But why she left him, I don't know, unless he's like a distraction, like to get while she has time to get away, a diversion. He left himself there. You're right, Lee. He left himself there. I would say that he's the diversion.
Yeah.
And he does. They come and tame these tempers assholes. I like that line.
Yeah, because
Um,
somebody was coming. Yeah, so she had to
Yeah,
leave him there.
I
Yeah.
assumed it was probably Drummond or somebody. We don't really know, but
Mhm.
are those the blueprints that Ragabi has of the reintegration process? If so, it would be interesting to put Cobel's work and her work together. I don't know, Lee. I don't know. But we'd have to go back. I don't remember. Was there a blueprint like that in hers? That would be interesting to see, but I really don't remember there being something quite like that. But I guess there could be. Michael says, makes sense now that she was involving herself so much when it came to Mark's Audi. It does. And it makes sense that she was so interested in reintegration. And the TCS says that he wanted to stay. He's spoiling for a fight. Yeah, I think he was too. I think that, like I said, I think he's the diversion, and I think that he's going to keep whoever it is away from her, hopefully.
Right.
And then Devin calls again, and she finally answers. And she says that Mark's been reintegrating. And she's like, Ragabi, she hasn't killed him yet. And she says, no, but they want to try something else. And Cobel asks if Mark's there and she to put him on. And then she says, tell me everything. And then that's the end of it. So, yeah, I find it interesting in a way that Devin called her. At the time, I definitely thought it was a mistake that she called her. And I thought she should have listened to Ragabi. But I do think, and I thought there was a chance of this before, but now I think it for sure. I do think that she's going to go against Lumon, so I think that she might be able to help them.
I mean, that is what we think is going to happen, but there's another way of looking at it too. Remember when she was talking about reintegration and Natalie said there's no such thing as reintegration. The board doesn't recognize that. And then Cobel backed down. She said, oh yeah, you're right. Maybe she wants to prove to Lumon that there is reintegration. Maybe she's looking to get back into a higher level in the company. I mean, we don't know that.
Maybe,
She
but I
might
kind of
have.
feel like Lumon won't want reintegration. I mean, that's probably the one thing Lumon doesn't want. Lumon wants to sever people and they're severed, not have them think, oh, we can change our mind and go back.
She can fine tune the process so they can't reintegrate anymore. In other words, she was investigating that with Petey, and that's what she told Natalie, and Natalie said, no, there's no such thing as reintegration.
Right. But you're
So if
saying
she
maybe
can prove
it.
that Mark has been reintegrated, that means that they have to go back to the drawing board and fix this chip. That's what it means.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this is her way. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying this is another way of looking at it. She might be using Mark to get back into the good graces of Lumon. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
would wonder why she would want to, though,
Well, maybe because maybe she's still tied to Kier in some way.
That's all
And
she knows, I guess, too.
and she doesn't want to sever her ties completely with Lumon for that reason.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, that's another way of looking at it. I'm not saying that's exactly what she's planning, but it would throw a monkey wrench in it, definitely.
No, it would.
I still can't understand Devin calling her. I mean, they know what she did. They know that she did, she pretended to be a wet nurse and all that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she would trust her. I mean, she has the idea about the cab and she thinks she can help her with, but she doesn't really know anything. So I put the StreamYard link in the chat. If anybody wants to call in with your opinions and let us know what you think while we're wrapping up the end.
And Cassie said maybe she's using it as leverage. That's possible.
Yeah, where's that at? Did my chat not update?
Yeah, Cassie said that.
No, I know. I'm wondering if the chat isn't updating. Sometimes it doesn't update. Yeah, it definitely did not update. I see it now. It does. Cassie. Okay, Cassie. Maybe she's using it as leverage. Is a good point.
And also Golden Child said maybe Ragabi was working with Cobel on reintegration when she was at Lumon. Right.
Yeah, she definitely could have been. And then Susie says, I think the reason she created it was not the reason they're using it, and reintegration was always part of the original plan until they realized they could use it to create a labor force. Yeah, that's maybe it wasn't meant to be for that. That would make sense too. And they're like, well, we have a better use for it. And I'm sorry, Doc. Yeah, it's because StreamYard isn't always as updated as YouTube. I try to remember to look at the YouTube's page every once in a while to see the messages, because it doesn't always bump up there. But yeah. So I don't know what else. So we got I feel like we got a lot from this episode. As much as it felt like not a lot happened, it did. It just, like I said, I think it felt kind of slow. I know you, yes, I know you're not really writing me from 1984. Thank you. But no, but the part about it not going through and being fast though is serious. It does
Well,
look.
also 1984, Orwell, right?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't get, yeah, I didn't get
Double
there.
entendre.
Yeah, yep. So let me ask you this because I'm looking at my list of 9 principles here. Um, why did they name like each? I'm curious why each thing is like a year of something. It makes me think of like Chinese New Year, and I know it has nothing to do
Mm,
with that. It makes me think of like the year of vision, the year of wiles. Like, was it? I don't know. It's just interesting, and unless it was just more. Look, there's another 9 reference, then it had no purpose for
yeah.
sure.
It may have been, like you say, like, Chinese astrology, the year of, it sounds like it's a takeoff on that.
Yeah, could
So
be.
for every year, there's a significance. There's a departure from the previous year, and that this year something else is going to happen, something new, something different. So maybe
Yeah,
it's along those lines. Yeah.
maybe. I read somewhere, I don't know where I read it at, but that it was similar to Prince. I don't know if it was principles or something in religion that it came from, but I
Hmm.
don't remember exactly what it was.
Not
No,
sure.
I don't know. I'm looking up. If you type in 9, there's things like 9 principles of war, 9 principles of design.
Ah, so
Uh,
maybe it's the number 9. In
yeah, maybe
numerology, what does 9 symbolize?
that's a good question. And 4, actually. What
And
does
4, the 4 tempers. Yes.
yeah in numerology? Let's find out. It represents completion, growth, and wisdom. It's the
Ah,
highest
there we go.
associated with the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. End of a
That's
phase.
it.
Growth,
That's it.
wisdom, altruism. Interesting.
Hmm.
Completion, though not a final ending.
It's infinite. But we start a new cycle each time. So there's
Yeah.
9 cycles, and then I guess it recycles back to the beginning again.
Yeah, that also makes me think of last week's episode with the Edo Chikado, is
Ego
it
death.
Chikado Edo? Yeah, ego death and that Chikado, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Remember off the top of my head. That had to
Bardo.
do
The Bardo.
with Bardo, yeah.
Chikai Bardo.
Guy Bardo, there we go. Which also sort of had some to do with life cycles. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious.
How many Bardos I think they said there were 6 Bardos. I think. 6.
That
And
I
the
don't
Chikai
know.
Bardo was the 4th one. Yeah.
According to Tibetan Buddhism, there are 6 bardos: the bardo of
Hmm.
life, bardo of dream, bardo of meditation, bardo of dying, which I think is what that one was, bardo of dharmata, and bardo of existence.
Right. So it's the 4th one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I said before, I think that the 4 tempers are like emotions because like sadness, happiness, malice is like rage, and then dread, fear, and anxiety. So like,
Hmm.
sad, happy, scared, angry. I mean, those are like the 4 main emotions. And I said before, I think that they want to now whether or not it's for a labor force or a super soldier or whatever, I don't know, but I do think that they're trying to get rid of their emotions.
Yes. Well, I think that those emotions are what make us us.
People, yeah,
That's
gives you
that's what the
personality.
ego, the ego is the I. Ego is I'm Laurie, you're Jamie. It's how we identify. And those 4 tempers are basically the elements of being a human being, of an I, of being it's the ego. So
Hmm.
if they can balance that out without severing, which is what I think they're doing with the upper management of Lumen. But I
Yeah,
think
maybe the way
but
they
I think the severing would be like the working class people, right? Because they're not looking to temper the working class people. They're looking to temper their own people and the severed workers that they have there, right?
Yeah, well, I guess the question is, what is their ultimate goal with severing? Um, More
I
than
think the
anything.
ultimate goal is to have death of the ego. So, like with Gemma, Cold Harbor, again, people are tying it into this episode with where Cobel came from, Salt Creek. I don't see the connection, but uh, I think the last room that she goes in, Cold Harbor, will be her ego death. So she will become a splintered person of different severances. So she'll be severed many, many times, and she will lose Gemma forever. That's what I think will happen. She will no
I,
longer have a Gemma. She'll no longer have an ego. She
I
won't
guess I'm,
identify. Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'm just saying, like, what is their reasoning for doing that, though, other than
Oh,
because
oh,
they can? Like, are
I
they
think
trying to make super soldiers? Are they trying to make forced labor? Are they trying to make somebody they can control? I,
yes. Yes,
I'm
they
very,
want to control the world, I think, because Jane Egan said everybody will have the severance chip.
yeah,
Everybody. That's the
I believe
goal.
I do
They
think the
want to
goal is to give everybody
they
a
want to
severance.
control they want to control the world, and severance to sever somebody is one way of doing it. But to actually have an ego death, it is a permanent severance. You cannot reintegrate at that point, I believe. I think it's a permanent severance. They can have one person go to work and they can have you do something different every day.
And
You could be
never,
severed and
and you can
never
never be
remember any
an
of
outie.
it. You wouldn't
Yeah.
remember anything. You
But they
could be a hired killer for the day,
Right,
right?
but they could also get rid of the outie part of it, and then they're a hired killer all the time. But yes, I think that's what I was saying
That's
about super
right.
soldier. Vic's right. Create a perfect follower.
Yeah.
I just put this up because I had found it when I was looking up the principles. But that was the
Ah,
picture of the chip that I was talking about that looks like
okay.
her drawing. So
Interesting. What is this from, Jamie? What is this?
this, I believe, this is from the Lexington letters. It didn't say that; it just popped up in Google. But I think this
Ah,
was one of the pages of the Lexington letters.
yeah, that
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
those are the 9 principles.
With the chip. Yes.
Yeah, with the chip. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's a lot of different
Yeah, I
depictions
mean,
on
if you remove the ego is the independent mind. If you remove the ego, they have complete control and they can have you do whatever they want you to do. As Vic said, you are the perfect follower. You'll do whatever
that.
you're told to do. You have
Yeah.
no memory of what you're doing. You may not even be an outie, or maybe you're a permanent severed person. There is no innie and outie anymore. You just come and
Mhm.
go when needed. Um, it's very interesting. Yeah, but that's the goal, I think.
Yeah. I'm just curious what they intend to do with it, I guess, is my thing. Like, there's so many things they could be going to do with it, but I'd
Oh yeah.
like to know
They
that.
want to take over the world.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yep.
And
I
maybe
think
they want to combine uh put one person's severed part into another person's severed part. Maybe they want to combine people together. But again, if there's
or
no
they want to
ego,
reincarnate Kier, which I think could be the
yeah,
ultimate goal, is to bring him back.
that's possible. That's part
Which
of it.
is
Yeah.
why I do see that I do see that it's possible that Helena could have gotten pregnant for that reason. I just hope it isn't because I don't like that storyline. But you know, that doesn't mean
Hmm.
it's not. So I don't know.
Well,
But
there's so many theories going on now, and I saw something that was in the Discord. I think it was Julie's Discord that Dieter saw. I think it was on Reddit. This was shocking to me. I can't believe they'd go in this direction. That in this episode, when they showed the computer, there was Helly's name flashed on where it said Cold Harbor. Helly's name flashed there. Maybe
in this
maybe it's in the
episode or in
trailer.
the last episode?
Maybe it was the last episode or it's in the trailer. I don't remember. But anyway, her name flashed by Cold Harbor. So people are thinking, well, maybe she's part of Cold Harbor in some way. I don't know. It's bizarre.
I don't know. I'd have to see what it is, but if it's a promo, it's hard to tell. But I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they want to combine them together. That's what somebody was speculating. To me, that's very far fetched. I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
that.
nothing in this show is far fetched, but you
Yeah, but
never know.
it seems out of everything. It
Oh
seems a
yes,
little.
it was her. It's her ID number. Cassie said yes. It's her ID number. Her ID number was put with Cold Harbor. So I don't know.
That's Helly's. Unless, well, I was gonna say unless maybe they were both working on it, but it seems to be Mark's thing, not Kelly's.
That's right.
Under Mark, yes, and it's seen under Mark's. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had not heard that.
The next episode, do you know what the synopsis is?
I can look and see if there's an official one. Although, let me see. Hold on. I would have to think about it to think what it even is about. But it's called The We Are. And it does not. I don't know how there's quotes from it. Looks like. No, that's not from this episode specifically. It's called We Are. I don't know. It doesn't have at least on Internet Movie Database, it doesn't have a description. I'm sure there's one somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. 9 summary. Whoops, 209. I gotta put what it's for. That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, at least with a quick Google. I don't see anything specific. And I don't have press releases specific to them. There's one more thing I can look at. Give me 1 second. I can look and see if there's anything on the press site, but I doubt it has anything yet. Why is that? Okay, that's odd. See, this confuses me when they do this. Okay, so according to Internet Movie Database, and I do not, in all honesty, I don't remember. I wouldn't, because I don't, like I've said before, the screeners that they gave us of the last 4 episodes. Not that I could tell you anything about it anyway, but we only have for 48 hours, so I don't still have them to look. But the Internet Movie Database says the We Are, whereas the press site says the After Hours. It doesn't say that We Are. And it does have a description. It says, Audi, Mark, and Devin team with an unexpected ally to enact a plan. Annie Helly investigates Mark's absence while Dylan receives hard news. So there.
So what's Dylan's hard news, you think? I think Milchick is going to say he can't see his wife anymore. He's going to be tightening the belt, right? Tightening the reins.
Yeah, maybe.
So he's going to stop those visits.
I'm just curious which title is correct, and if it isn't, why they changed it. Because I would normally say the press site's right, but I was wrong with from. They changed it and they had it wrong on the press site. So I don't think. I'm gonna look and see if I have it marked down what it was in my notes, because that
Vic wrote.
I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have what the name of it was.
Okay, so Vic wrote in the chat. It says Mark and Devin. Hold on. Mark and Devin team with an ally. Helly investigates further. This is from Apple TV.
That's what I just read. Audi, Mark, and Devin team with an unexpected ally to enact a plan. Annie Helly investigates Mark's absence while Dylan receives hard news. That is the official.
But what you just said goes further about Dylan, which I had suspected that Milchick would stop that he wouldn't let him see his wife anymore. And we know who the surprise person who Mark and Devin are going to team up with, right? We know that's Cobel.
Yeah.
And Mark won't be at work, right? He's missing.
Mark, I don't know what they told them, but yeah, he's not at work because he's reintegrating right now.
So Helly is investigating on her own. She's going to find the hallway. she's going to find where the testing floor is.
What just said, Vic says in one of the episodes, Sally's in an elevator and it's pointing down.
Yeah. And she's holding that drawing in her hand, the one that Irving made.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to go looking for, because they haven't actually looked for it yet, right?
No, they haven't looked at it yet. No.
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna go look for it. I'm trying to remember. I can't. There, one of the episodes. I was just curious. Not that it really matters, but there was one episode that's there's stuff in it that's really good that I'm waiting for people to see, and I don't remember if it's 9 or 10. I want to say it's probably the next one, but I don't know for sure. I know that the scene. I can say this without saying anything. That the scene that Michael had mentioned he was there for is in episode 9. Or at least part of it. It might have been continued into 10, but it's definitely partially in 9. And
Michael in the chat?
Yeah, that he had been there when they filmed it. What he said, it's not what he was saying won't tell anybody anything, but I'm just saying it is in episode 9. But the one thing that I really am excited to talk about, I think it's in episode 9. I'm trying to scan through my notes very quickly and figure out what I'm thinking without telling anybody anything. So how does that help? Actually, now that I think what I'm talking about is in 10, it looks like going by where it ends, I think it's in 10. But not that I can tell what it is I'm talking about anyway. I'm just excited to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be excited next week to talk about it.
Yeah, no, what I'm talking about is just something that I like. I also think that the acting on Adam Scott's part is really good, but it's episode 10, I think, the part that I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, that's to come. I need to try to write up a review for the finale. I think I had mentioned it. I don't know which show I mentioned on. One of my shows I mentioned it on, that I had been having a lot of website issues. So I'm kind of behind on everything, but I do hope to at least write a review of the finale.
Yes.
Because there's a lot going on. And yeah, I think, what was that?
Would you say it's as good as the first season's finale?
Personally, I like the first season finale better, but I mean, that doesn't mean it's not good. I think the first season to show a lot of times is always going to have things that are better. But,
yeah, that was a great finale. That would be hard to beat.
Personally, I like the season 1 finale better, but there are a lot of things about the season 2 finale that I like, and there's a lot of really good acting in it. Which is what I'm thinking about. And once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll have to wait for that.
Well, yeah, and we'll talk about it, definitely.
Yep. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else from this episode? This episode was so short. I think that's why we kind of ran out a lot quicker than normal, because we're normally still going now.
But I do want to say one thing, that there were elements of this episode I did like I mentioned, the photography, the locale, the acting, her dealing with her grief, all of that. What I don't like is her being the inventor of the chip, because to me that's not very realistic, number one. And number two, that Devin reached out to her and now she's going to save the day. It's like she's Superman. She's flying in to save the day. And it's like, to me, that's a little bit of lazy writing. It's a little too convenient, I think.
I mean, look, the fact that Devin went to her for help, I agree. I'm not sure that I understand why Devin would trust her after what happened. However, Devin does know that Cobel knows a lot. And if Ragabi left, I mean, I don't know, maybe she couldn't get Ragabi back. I would think she would have apologized and tried to get her back.
Yeah, I would think so.
Maybe she didn't. So I guess she knows that she probably knows some stuff. Why she would trust her, I don't know, but it might also be, and I'm trying to even remember. I'm saying this and not even remembering the truth. The truth is I don't remember. But I mean, maybe Mark wanted to. Maybe it was him that made the decision. I don't remember. But like I said, I couldn't tell you whether it was or not anyway, but I honestly don't remember. But it is kind of, like I said, surprise. I agree. I think it's surprising that she would call her, but I do
I mean,
think that
first of all,
Cobell,
we know Mark is conscious. The last episode ended.
yeah,
He woke up. He was conscious.
yeah.
Conscious. So you think
So
he would say, "Let's call Ragabi and get her
no,
back"?
yeah, I'm saying maybe like it was his decision to call her. I don't know. I would think, like, I feel like Devin has no reason to at all because of what she did. Like Mark knows a little bit more what's going on, so maybe he would think that she could help. I don't know. But yeah, I would think they would call Ragabi back, but maybe they couldn't get her. I don't know. Um, so yeah, and as for Cobell, I mean, maybe she did invent the whole chip. Maybe she just invented some of the procedures. Maybe she invented the whole chip. She could be a genius. It could have been when she was older in college. I feel like that's something that I can overlook. I agree with you. It doesn't make a bunch of sense because she'd have to
Mhm.
be a genius, but I can overlook that. Um, like story wise, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we won't know, and that may be something if we find that out more specifics. It's probably going to be years down the road, I would guess.
Yeah, I just think it throws a little bit of a monkey wrench in it, though. It's like, you know, I mean, up until this point, I think the writing was really great, very crisp, very intricate, and the show was going in a direction that was very, very exciting, I think.
Yeah,
And
look, I
then
think that,
this kind of like threw like a curveball. It's like, wait a minute, what is this now? You know?
I mean, I think everything they do in Severance tends to have purpose. So far, they haven't really had what I'd call lazy writing. I mean, is it perfect? No. There's things that they've done that maybe
Right.
don't fit in like little loose threads, but for the most part, things have reasons and they tend to make sense. So I don't know. I think that may just be something we don't know the answer to yet.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll give it time to find out. But I guess Doc liked the end of this episode. He said it was 2 in the morning. Here I was cheering loudly at the end of the episode.
Oh.
Thankfully, he wasn't home to be awakened by it. Yeah. I guess the end of this episode was what saying that she wants to know everything. Yeah. Why is it also he says, why is it not realistic for Cobell to come up with the idea for the chip? I don't think it's not realistic for her to come up with the idea for the chip. I think it's not super realistic that she invented the whole severance procedure. But again, we don't know how old she was exactly throughout writing
But
that
wouldn't
book.
she have had to have a medical background to
I would
understand,
think she would
you
have
know?
had to have a medical background and a science background, and it's implied and not said, but it's implied that I think this Wintertide scholarship or whatever, I think was right after high school. At least that's what I got out of it because it was in
Yeah,
the yearbook with her graduation.
right.
So, yeah, I would think she would have had to go to college and stuff for science and medicine. Again, though, just because of when that Wintertide thing was, though, to be fair, the stuff in this notebook could have been written a decade later. We don't really know.
And
So
she was
maybe,
in charge of the goats, the goat, whatever they're doing with the goats. So
yeah,
she may have invented this chip originally for the
for goats, who
goats.
knows? Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, but I guess that's my biggest question: is when did she make these blueprints? If she made the blueprints, 10, 20 years after high school, I'd be
that's
more
different.
inclined to believe it.
Yeah, me
It but
too.
could but is it possible she's just a genius and she didn't have to go to school for? I mean, she could have researched on her own if she's a genius and come up with it. I'm not saying it's not possible. It
Right,
just seems not super likely, like without her going to school. But this, we don't know when this was written. I mean, like
right.
I said, to be fair, we really
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, if
So
it was
I'm
if it was when
willing
she
to,
was older, like you said, and maybe she did go to some college. I mean, maybe we don't know.
yeah.
Maybe she was doing some scientific work. Maybe she was doing a fellowship. I don't know. But, that would make more sense, but
It
as
would.
a teenager coming up with this, it's just a little hard to believe. I feel
Yeah,
so,
that's what
you
I'm
know?
saying. Like it, we know she seemed to have had the fellowship right after high school, but that doesn't mean she made the notebook then. We're just
Right,
assuming that.
right.
So that's I guess why I'm saying too, I can buy it and just wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, women and can definitely be scientists and tech bros. Not saying they can't, Susie. We're just saying right out of high school could she have done this. So I'm going to reserve my, you know, my opinion on it and just say maybe she was older when she did it. Um,
Yeah, I would like to think so.
that's going to be what I'm going to say because otherwise
Right.
it doesn't make sense.
No,
But
Susie's just joking.
no, oh, I know she is. I know she is. Hey, I mean, I'm I'm into computer tech, not that kind of tech. But I was gonna say I'm into tech.
Right. Yeah,
I mean my whole website and everything I've done was self-taught. So women can do it too.
you can.
Yeah, yeah, Vic, you're right though. I don't think brain surgery and stuff like that can be self-taught. I definitely think that
No.
she would have to have had some kind of schooling or yeah, foundation of the science. Yeah. But and I'd like to see more of that too. Um, that would be more explanation.
Mhm.
I gotta say the one thing I just wanted to add because I'm looking still at that list. I do love how they inserted the different things in this episode, like the Kier stuff, like going through that bedroom. Like I really would like to. I'm gonna try to take a lot of those pictures and
Yeah.
try using the AI to resize them and stuff and see if we can read more of it. So I
Oh,
think
that
it's
would be
really
great.
cool how they're. Excuse me. I think it's really cool how they have so many little things, especially in Sissy's room. And I'd love to see more of it and see if there's even more hidden that we're missing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
get
great.
rid of
It's a
these
good
things.
idea.
And I really, it didn't occur to me to do it to the screen captures until we're talking about them. And I'm thinking, why did I not do that? But
You could put them in the Discord.
yeah, I could. Let me see really quickly. What's the one? Is there one that's too small to read, but it wasn't necessarily dark?
Let me
I was
take a
going to say,
look.
like, what's one that would I'm trying to see like which one we were trying to read because I can take and really quickly throw it in gigapixel and try to save it. I'm not sure if it's going to help. Like I'll look and see how much it helps making it twice the size and we'll see. Let me find the picture I just resized. Let me see if this helps. Okay. Let's look at this. Now I just took one. I didn't, I resized it at 2 times. Let's see if that helps. See, I think it's going to take a lot of like sharpening and stuff in Photoshop because I still can't read that. Anterior casing? I don't know. Yeah, see, I mean, it helps. It helps a lot, but I don't know that it makes a lot of it legible that wasn't legible. That's why I said, if you guys tell me which picture, I can quickly make it a lot bigger, but I don't. There was one we were trying to read. I just don't remember which one it was we were trying to read. That's why I'm looking at them and trying to see which.
Jamie,
Yeah,
do you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. I couldn't
Oh,
until now.
okay. Oh, okay. Because I was looking at the picture. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay. So
Okay, you went off again. I'm not sure what happened, but you went off.
yeah, I was changing to my camera app, so I went off. Okay, so I was able to make it a little lighter, but it's still hard to read. But I think if you work on it a little bit, and then you could put it in Discord, and we could talk about it.
Yeah, I can. I made
Mhm.
it bigger. It's not lighter, but at least that's what I said. I can make it bigger quick. It says
Mhm.
during a special, I can read it. During a special ceremony, this is the yearbook. James Egan presented Harmony Cobel with, and then it's blurry, prestigious Wintertide Fellowship. Harmony Cobel's outstanding something, the 9 core values, has earned her the distinguished honor of being something in the year of Wiles Wintertide Fellow. This achievement, something, Harmony's exceptional academic pursuits, but also recognition for her, and then something, Egan principles that form the foundation of the, see, a lot of it's blurry.
Yeah.
The problem is getting like that moment where it's not, and a lot of times it is because they don't necessarily intend you to read it.
That's
Like
right.
we try,
That's
but
right.
and sometimes too, like you're gonna get whatever frame you're gonna get. Let me see. This one looks a little bit. Let me try this one
Hello,
here. Yes, I can still hear you. You're good.
Jamie?
Yes.
Did we lose Jamie?
You can't hear me? Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Let's chat it. Can you hear both of us?
Oh, okay. I lost you. Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
I've,
back.
I've heard you the whole time. I
Okay.
got one of these was a little bit clearer. I'm gonna try this one and see if this is better. So wait, I resized this one. Let's see if this helps. Okay, there, that's better. Harmony Cobel, a beacon of academic excellence and leadership. Then it's a little blurry because you got to remember this is AI. It doesn't always make it perfect when it's right.
Yeah.
Something mark on the year
Oh, it
of
says
wow
husbandry. It says Goat Husbandry Club. If you go
graduated
further down.
throughout her high school academic pursuits, something top grades, longing subjects beyond harmony actively engaged. Oh, yep. Yeah. Goat husbandry something. You're right. It
Club.
does say goat husbandry. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. See, it made it bigger, but if you look at it like it's not
Yeah. It
not
says that
easy.
she was president of the Goat Husbandry Club or clinic.
Looks like it
Yeah.
says captain and acting something. Yeah, goat husband. That's interesting though. I'm curious why she was into goat husbandry.
Uh-huh.
And yes, they could hear both of us. So they hear us going back and forth. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Sorry, guys. But
Yeah,
but yeah,
so
we can
she
work on it. But I don't know how much more you're gonna get with them. That's why I said I can easily like resize it, but
Mhm.
if it's not clear in the screenshot, it's not necessarily gonna fix it. But we'll see if we can at some point get clearer,
Yeah.
or if maybe they provide it. I wish I had I was going to say, I wonder if looking at a bigger picture of the room would be beneficial. Let's try that. Let me drop this one uh, into my program here. Save it out. I'm only going 2 times bigger because if you go too big, it's just going to like recreate it and it's not going to be,
Mhm.
I mean, you can go bigger, but it doesn't, you're going to lose details at a certain point and it's not going to
Right.
help. Okay, let's see. Present, share screen. Okay, let's try this. Okay.
Ah.
See, now you can't read certain things though, like it's
Yeah.
the open door, but it work-life balance. It does at least give you a little bit closer view of some of it. I like the goat tapestry there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Looks like seashells. The lock. I don't know what the lock about it is about the locket. That looks like a baby doll. I don't know. There's so many things in that.
Yes.
There's Kier.
The open door. I wonder what that says.
I don't know. It didn't fix it. It's just a bunch of
Yeah. Now that looks like a cushion, doesn't it? In front of
yes,
Kier?
maybe a kneeling cushion to pray or something.
Yes. Yes.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm. Wait, you know what? This one may be a little bit. Yeah, I was gonna say this is. I got one that's a little bit sharper, but it's not gonna. I don't. I think it's at the point where it's so tiny. Like it may be sharper, but it's not gonna.
Uh-huh.
It's not gonna make it legible, blowing it up. So
Well, we get
that
the
thing does
we get
look
the
porous
gist.
like a bone.
We get the gist of it, right?
Yeah. I just wish they would do like MGM did and had like there's a lot of promo photos like from the whatever it was, his attic and stuff of the paintings. Like there was a lot of press photos that were like close up clear versions of the paintings and things.
Mhm.
I would like if they do that with this kind of things on Apple, but they don't put up that many episodes. I mean, that many images. So,
Right.
um, and there's only there's 6 images from this episode, so nothing that's gonna help. Sorry, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe on a TV it would help. Maybe if there's an ultra high def version, but that's about as good as I can get.
Maybe.
But
So
but
what
we
so what was your take on the episode overall, Jamie? What how did you feel about it?
like I said, I liked it. I definitely think it felt slower compared to the other one, but
Yes.
I mean I think we got some important things, and I think it was nice to find out more about Cobel. That's my
Yeah.
main thing. Like, could they have? Would I liked it better if they integrated some of like the office stuff with it? Yeah, I think it might have worked better, but I kind of understand why they didn't
Hmm.
at the same time.
Right. Because it would
So
take you out of that storyline. You would lose your focus on what was going on with Cobell.
yeah,
Um, but I think after last week's episode, it was so powerful that maybe they needed an office episode in between these two episodes, maybe.
maybe. But I
Hmm.
also kind of feel like no matter what happened in this episode after the last one, people were going to be complaining, you know?
Well, that's true. People will find something to complain about. But I think because having them back to back, maybe people felt like disoriented. But if they had a grounding office episode, it may not have felt so meandering.
Yeah.
May have felt more grounding, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell us
but
what you think, guys. Like I said before, call in, tell us what you think. Put the StreamYard link again. Maybe somebody will give us their opinion because I know we're running out. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I just finished my thought. Yeah, it's interesting. When I first saw this episode, I really was not happy with it. Upon a second viewing, I like it a little bit more because I'm finding parts of it that I do like. I mean, the acting was incredible.
Yeah,
Jane
well,
Allen
yeah, it's always
and
incredible,
Jane
but
Alexander, I mean, she was great.
yeah,
Um, I liked learning about her aunt and her and where she grew up and her mom and
yeah,
knowing more about her backstory. I did like it. I
yeah,
just felt
yeah.
that it was just a disconnect from the rest of the show. I think that's sometimes when you have a bottle episode, though, you do take a risk. Some bottle
Well,
episodes do not work out.
yeah. Although a bottle episodes when they film it all one interior location, I don't I because I always got that wrong, but yeah, I agree. When they do like a off episode, I know what you mean when they do a different it's a little
See,
bit
because a
different.
bottle episode mainly focuses on one character, usually, right?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but usually they say that because it's like one interior and it's cheaper. That's what I mean, at least that's what that originally came from. It was
Right.
when they
Right.
like use one interior and they don't pay as much money because they don't go out
Right.
of it.
Right. Mhm.
But yes, when they do one that's sort of side story that isn't quite as connected and it's different, it doesn't always land. And I think that it didn't
No.
land well for some people. I don't know. See, I did not necessarily think about that when I first saw it, but and I say this a lot. I'm not necessarily the person to go by for that because when I watch them, like I watched all 4 sequentially. So to me, it wasn't like I had to wait a week to get something
Right.
else. So
Right.
it doesn't always hit quite the same for me because I'm watching them all together. Um, so yeah, let's see. Muncher Luncher says next episode we're going to look at Milchicky's upbringing, past, or what's good. Yeah, that would be cool if we had some milkshake flashbacks
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. But
Um,
the same thing with episode 4. When it first landed, a lot of people didn't like it. What was Hollow?
yeah,
Uh, again, it was beautifully shot and directed,
it was different.
but it was very different from the rest of the story. And I think it was very unsettling for viewers to see that.
Mhm.
When I first saw it, I really didn't like it, but then I saw it again and again, and I really think it's a phenomenal episode.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of
but
liked that it. veered off on that one was different. But I can see
It's so
why some people weren't sure about it.
I mean, at least it had the whole cast in it. So, you can't say it was a bottle episode, but it was very different. This was a bottle episode. This was just Cobel, and it took a different turn. So, but it's interesting that this season they have more artistic license with their episodes. They are taking risks and chances that a lot of shows don't do anymore. And it's kind of refreshing in a way, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of them are afraid to take these risks. But I admire the show's producers for doing that. And I do
Yeah, I
like
do.
these episodes. Yeah,
And
and
I
I
like
do
I
like
said,
them.
I like that they put Cobell back in it, and I like that we got like a whole backstory on her, sort of, because we've been questioning, about her mother and kind of what was going on there. So it was nice to finally
Yeah.
get it.
I want to see her as a child though in that
Yeah,
town. I would
I would
love to
like
see
that
that,
too. That would be
you
cool.
know.
Doc says that they'd like to see some milkshake shirtless. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, I'd be
Or
down with
even
that.
Mark, or even Mark. I second it. Yes. I'll just say we need some shirtless men in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you guys what it's about, but I can't. But
Oh,
I
the
mean
next episode?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a good season. I enjoyed it as a sophomore season. I mean, the first season in some ways, I think in a way was better, but that being said, the first season was also slow. I really liked the second season. But I mean,
Hmm.
you're always expanding on the lore of when you get a second season, it's always gonna be different. So it's hard to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My favorite, I think, was seven, though. I mean, I've been saying that from the beginning, that seven was
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
It was amazing.
But we have two left now. Um, Again, since it's got a different title in two places, I'm not sure what the title is, but you know what? It probably says it on Apple. Usually, it says the name of the next one and says like it's coming, whatever date it is. But I can't
Right.
log in. So I don't know.
That's funny. Well,
I
anyway,
hope I
well, listen, it's only another 2 weeks and then it's over. It's hard to believe,
yeah,
right?
I hope that
I
it's over.
know. I know. I wish
Yeah.
these seasons were longer, like they used to do years ago. I
Mhm.
mean, I mean, Lost was crazy. I mean, that was like 24 episodes in a season.
Yeah.
That's too much. But I
But
don't
like
think
at
10
least
is enough.
12 even would be nice. I mean, I think that even 12 would be good.
12 to 15 would be perfect, you know?
Right.
But 10 is too little. And then The Walking Dead, I mean, Daryl Dixon is 6 episodes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
ridiculous. Six
Already
episodes.
it's been epic. Ah, yeah. I I'm trying to think which yeah, I didn't love a lot of that season though.
No, I didn't either. I liked the first season though.
I don't
First
know
season
that
was good.
out of all the shows wanting more episodes, I don't know that that would be the show I would choose if I could only get one to have more episodes.
Oh
But
yeah, I agree.
but yeah, I wish that Severance had more. I wish that
And
From
From.
had a lot more.
Oh yeah. I would
But
love to see 15 episodes on From.
I would too.
Absolutely.
I just question, are we going to have to wait a couple years to get more Severance? Look, I
Uh,
know that it was way longer than normal because of the writer's strike and everything else
yes.
going on, but
Yes.
also got to remember Severance is a very expensive show.
Yeah.
So it still might be a while.
Well,
So,
and then their schedules, all the actors' schedules,
mhm,
Patricia Arquette, when is she available? When is this one available? Right.
mhm.
Yeah, you're right. It could be 2 years, which I hope not, but
Yeah,
maybe.
I hope not too, but you just really never know.
Mm.
I mean, look, I'd rather get another season, but I think part of the problem is I know my mom's always complaining about. She's always saying like by the time shows come back, you forget about them because it
Right.
takes so long. Like you don't like a lot of times you don't even know. I mean, I tend to know because like I'm in media and that, but a lot of times like you don't even know if a show's coming back because it's so long later. Like you thought it was over and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think that they need to do. keep advertising things up. It's like it used to be different because they used to play reruns, which they don't do anymore because it's streaming.
Right.
And I think it also felt like a lot less time because you did get more episodes. Like when you have only, when you have 20 episodes, that's 10 more weeks of the season before you get to the hiatus. So it felt
That's
like
right.
a lot less time. And now it's so minimal. It's like, I know like the other one I always feel like I'm waiting forever is Doctor Who. It's not on very often. You don't get many episodes.
Right.
And the wait really sucks. But
It does, you know.
I would still rather have another season, even if it's going to be 2 years away, than not have it.
I agree, absolutely. But you're right. Years ago, they would have reruns in the summertime.
Hmm.
So all the
Yeah, it
shows
was,
were on hiatus in the summer, and they would have reruns. So you
but
watch
that's
it.
the thing too. It was pretty much what, like November to May or something like that was the
Right.
season.
Right.
And then sometimes they started having like where they split the season, but still it lasted more of the year. Now
Right.
they run it straight through. You get 10 episodes. It's like, this is 2.5 months. That's
Right.
not anywhere near where it used to be. So
Yeah. I mean, imagine you're watching a show from November till what, June? And then they're showing reruns through the whole summer. So you're still
I
seeing
mean,
the show, but you're seeing the rerun. And then
that's why we
September, it
keep
starts
watching.
again, the new episodes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
you
I mean,
never go without seeing the show. The show is
and it
always
keeps
on.
it fresh in your mind because they're
Yes.
advertising it.
Yes.
But now there's so much on television and so much in streaming. It's like there's always something new. So they can't. I
That's
mean, I
why.
get it. I just sometimes think it's a detriment to advertising. And I think that it was good when they did that. Like, but they can't really on streaming put up repeats like in a schedule. It wouldn't make sense
No,
um,
no, they
to do
can't do
that.
that
So
now. But they could have longer seasons, though. They could do that.
we could, but I mean, it also, I mean, it's obviously based on a lot of other things too, like how much work the actors want to do and
And
the
the
writers
budget.
want to do and the budget for it. Well, although this is such a high budget, I mean, we know how many millions they've spent on this. They technically could probably make more episodes and make them a little cheaper.
Yeah,
But then again, if they did that, maybe it wouldn't be the show that it is. I
that's
mean,
right.
it's a good show. They're using their money well, and I think it's like the high. I thought it meant highest any show. I guess it's highest rated Apple show they've ever had,
Really? Oh,
which
that's
is not
great.
surprising at all to me. But yeah, this is
No.
like the highest
I
rated show.
think, but it's funny because there was a 3-year hiatus, right? We had to wait 3 years for it to come back. And they lost a lot of the audience they had in the beginning because it was too long of a time. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure it was going to be that popular this season. And boy, has it taken
It's been
off.
more popular than the first season. Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
it's because everybody watched it while they were waiting or they took time to watch it before it came back. I mean, it's not like we didn't have the time to, you know, watch it
Right.
and come back. I do hope, I will say one thing. I hope that the appearance of these type of shows and the shows that are like deep diveable and stuff, I hope that this means that we're getting back to having more of these deep mystery puzzle box shows because
Yes.
they for a long time were few and far between because they got canceled so quickly. Like we
Yeah.
had Lost, and I mean, Lost is Lost. It's a thing. You're not going to get that back again,
No.
and I doubt you're going to get a show. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get a show again, number one, that has that many episodes anyway. But I mean,
No.
it lasted a long time, and it was a huge success. And can you get that again? I don't know. But the problem is, so many things have tried to be lost. And we've gotten puzzle box shows, but generally puzzle box shows tended to last one season and then they were canceled.
Right.
And we're now getting mainstream shows that have that mystery element, that have that you have to like pay attention and be smart to watch it. And people are loving it. And I
Yes.
feel like maybe because they're giving them a chance and they're actually not giving up on them, that there'll be more shows like that because it's just
I think
surprising.
so.
There's so many shows recently that were great that were canceled.
Yeah,
And
because they're seeing that viewers want this. There was a
yeah,
time when they would put out the most silly, ridiculous content.
well,
I
the
mean,
thing
stuff
is
that was insulting to people's
it
intelligence,
was, but
right?
the thing is up until like recently, there were so many shows that the only thing they've done is I can't think of what the word is. Like weekly like a mystery of the week type thing. Like they're very,
Right.
I can't think of the right word, I'm blanking, but they don't have the continuity across the season. And that's what was popular, and pretty much everything has been like that for quite a while.
Hmm.
And I think that's why a lot of times I tend to gravitate towards sci-fi too, because they tend to have more involved stories.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so hopefully we'll
I
continue to
think
get
so. I think
these
this is
big
a
shows.
renaissance
It
of the
seems to be.
mystery box shows.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, even if it's not like a full mystery box, like I wouldn't consider Yellow Jackets a mystery box show, but
No,
there's still
no.
a lot that you can, there's a lot of like hidden things, and I think that people are appreciating shows that you have to have a brain to find the stuff, and they're
Yeah.
willing to put the time into it and willing to keep watching it.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think so too, which is a good thing. But
yeah,
let's get back to 12 to 15 episodes. I'd be very happy with that.
yeah, I would too. I don't know in this day and age if that's ever going to happen, but I would like it. I just
It makes sense though, because like with From, for instance, they were saying originally that they may not start filming until the fall. So that means it wouldn't be released until early next year. Now I heard they may start filming in May or June. So it's feasible that they could actually get it to us by December. Feasible. And I think they're doing that because they know how disappointed the fans are that they have to wait so long.
I know, but you
So,
don't want them to mess it up.
oh, I don't
But
think that they would do it
the
unless
thing
they.
is, I know, but the thing is, they don't want to film during the winter with From. I think that's the
No,
big,
no.
big takeaway, and why it's going to take longer. I think
But they're
is
thinking of filming a couple of months earlier than they would have. So I'm just wondering if they're taking the fans' feelings into account here, you know?
I didn't hear
Maybe
that,
that's
so I
why.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe that's the reason. Because they don't want the fans to lose interest. They don't want to
Yeah,
disappoint the fans. And that's the problem. That's what Hollywood needs to realize. You're going to lose your fan base if you're going to wait too long. Okay. Or you don't lose them entirely, but a lot of viewers will drop off because there are other shows to watch, you
uh
know?
huh. I
So,
mean, don't get me wrong. There's going to be a certain base of fans that are going to watch no matter what,
mhm.
but they're still going to lose a lot. Cassie says June. I'm assuming that means I know that's when they're filming it. I don't know. I hadn't
Yeah, I
talked
heard,
to them
yes,
since
I
we
heard
last
like
talked.
May or June. That's
That
right.
would be awesome. Yeah, I don't
Mm.
know. I mean, I thought they were starting it the following year, but
They
they
were
definitely put
supposed
it
to.
Tuesday.
Right, they were. So they're moving it up now. And I think it's because of the fan base.
Well, that would be cool if they did, but
Mhm.
I know that the fan base isn't the only thing I mean, they have other things that they have to that dictates it as well. Like if they do, it has to be everything coming together. They can't just say, "Well, the fans want it, we're going to do it," because it isn't always that easy. I mean, it's great if it works out. It isn't always that simple. Just like
No.
especially with Severance, that's what I'm saying. Like it's such a huge show, such an expensive show. I don't think it's something that they're going to come together now and knock it out really quick. It's just
Oh,
not going to
I
happen.
agree with you as far as Severance goes, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
and I mean,
From
I
is
wanted
in
to
a
get it
very
right.
From is in a different position. From is on MGM Plus, which is not Apple TV.
No, it's not.
And
So they can
and
make it quicker.
and they're more vulnerable. So they really care what the fans think. So
I just
they may
don't
be pushing it. Yeah.
I just don't understand, and this isn't just about From, this is even about Severance. I don't understand the people that say we aren't getting answers. Like, even people are saying that Severance gave us no answers. How can you have watched episode 7 and not say you got a lot of answers? I
Right, exactly.
don't understand people. I really don't. But I mean, you can't get all the answers, though. I mean, if you get all the answers, it's going to be boring. They have to stretch some of it out.
They
People
have
say
to.
that people get mad for no reason, and they're like, "Oh, I want to know everything." Like, you don't really want to know everything. If they told you absolutely everything, there'd be no more to the show, and you'd be bored, and then you'd be complaining.
Well, you see, but
So,
Netflix spoiled people. They would release the entire show at one time so you can binge watch it. So people who want instant gratification, that's what they do. Like Stranger Things, like
mhm.
you know, a lot of these other shows on Netflix that I forgot the one the popular one I'm thinking about. The
I
one a Korean one, I forgot the name.
I know what you mean. I
Oh,
haven't
Squid
seen that.
Game. Squid
Squid Game.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The
So you could
problem
yeah. Mhm.
Well, no, I was just gonna say though, the problem with releasing them though all at once is also that it's actually taking longer for you to get new ones because they're not stretched out to 2.5 months or whatever we're getting like Severance stretched out, to 10 weeks. If they release them all at once and you're somebody like me who watches all 10 of them in a day or two,
Right. Right.
then you have even longer to wait. So,
I agree. But I think a lot of people like that format because they don't wanna wait. There are
oh,
some
I
people
yes,
that are like that.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah.
I see benefits to both. I think that
Yeah.
people don't wanna wait, and I think that sometimes when you're waiting, fans get too antsy to wanna get answers, whereas if it
Right.
drops all at once, you don't have to wait.
That's
But
right.
I do think with a show like this, that the week in between to talk about it and to theorize and to figure it out, I think is a big part of it.
Yes.
Um,
I
I mean,
agree.
this is the way television I think it depends on your age too. Like, for us, this is what television was. Like, you didn't have a
Right.
choice before.
Right.
And I kinda sometimes miss it, and I know I don't even get it when a lot of people do because I get the screeners and I kinda ruin it for myself. But, I kinda have to do that to do the interviews or whatever, but I enjoy that we're doing it now. Like, even if I've already seen them, I enjoy that
Right.
we're week by week discussing it. And
Yes.
it's hard to do that on bingeable shows. Look, I'm not saying you can't do it. I mean, we were doing it with well, Paradise they dropped all at once. I guess we weren't, but
Uh,
it's harder when they drop all at once, and people don't
yes.
tend to spend so much time with them.
Right. No,
So
it's true. It's true. But I think it spoils people. So they want to know right now. They want the answers. They don't want to wait another week. They don't want to wait another month, you know?
no, I know.
But like you said, but then when it's over,
It's
you
over
got to
quicker.
wait 2 years for the
I know
next
that's
season.
what I try to explain to people too when I get screeners is they're like, oh, that's not fair, whatever. But no, you don't realize what's worse is when you get part of it and like you don't get the finale.
Yeah,
And it's like you guys had, 9 weeks to wait for that. I had like 9 weeks plus X months because they gave it to me back here and I didn't get
that's
it.
right.
That's even worse.
I'll tell you the truth. I couldn't do, I would be so frustrated that I couldn't discuss it.
It's hard. And that's why I said that's why I started a couple shows ago. If I was gonna break it up, that's why I started like taking serious notes each one because it is too hard, one, not to get confused and remember what your theories are. And
Yeah.
then I would always be like so because I'm always very good. I won't give out spoilers. I don't want to upset people, number one, but also I'm not allowed. I mean, you're not allowed to give them out, but I also don't want to ruin it for people. But it's
Right.
like I was for when I did them before, a lot of times would not tell my theories because I would get mixed up. Was this really my theory, or am I
Yes.
seeing this now because I'm watching it in hindsight and seeing the clues?
Right.
That's why I started quite a while ago before From. I started very seriously writing down detailed notes. And if I look back, I remember I looked back in my Severance notes for, I don't know, whatever episode it was, episode 2 or whatever. And it's like, this could be Helena. I don't think this is how, like, I made sure, and then I can be like, well, yeah, I thought that during this episode, because then I don't get it screwed up.
Right. Right.
So, yeah,
It's fun.
but you get used to it, but it is harder sometimes. And it's
Yes.
hard not to have anybody to talk to about it.
Yeah. I can imagine how you feel.
Well, I'm also very bad at not binging. Like if it's there, I can't not. I mean, like I usually a lot of times need to watch it for the interviews, but I like when even if I wasn't having them, like if they send me an episode of From, I can't let it sit there. It's going to be watched.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not gonna,
Yeah. I understand that. Listen, I was lucky with Lost. I saw Lost many years later, and I binge watched
oh
it. I mean
wow. Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
see,
so I
I
didn't
saw
have
it
to
when it was
wait.
on. And I saw it when it was on.
And
I was
and
one of the
Breaking
original.
Bad, the same thing. I watched it after. So I was able to watch it. I was able to binge watch them, and I liked it. I
I
did.
actually have not seen Breaking Bad.
Oh, you're
I
kidding.
mean, I've
You
seen
must
like
see it.
maybe one episode. I never really got into it.
You
I didn't.
know You
It
know,
wasn't
I
my thing.
felt the same way you did. People told me, "Watch it." I watched the first episode. I said, "What is this? This isn't for me." Give it another chance. It's phenomenal. I promise you,
I
you'll
will
love it.
have to do that.
You'll
I'll have
love
to.
it. You'll
Well,
love
hey,
it.
I said before, I didn't like Yellow Jackets the first time I watched it. And
Yeah.
then Scarlett talked me into watching it again, and I tried and I liked it. I mean, there's still parts of it I don't like, if I'm
Yeah.
honest, because I said
Yeah.
before, I'm not a horror person.
Right.
So I tend to like the paranormal horror. Like if it's horror, if it's like paranormal horror or like sci-fi type horror, like from like weird stuff,
Right.
then it's more my thing. Where cannibals, maybe not so much, but I am enjoying it.
Right.
Susie's saying Lost was so fun to experience as a show was on, especially with all that. Yes, I think Lost was awesome to get to watch it week by week at the beginning. I mean, that's why I said I watched it when it was first out. So that was definitely the experience I had. And we had, I mean, that's how I've said before, Karen and AJ, I mean, that was how we started our podcast way back when, was because we met each other watching Lost. We met each other in a Lost chat. Um, and yeah, I wish that they would do more ARG stuff with like current stuff, but I know they need people to write it. But I think that Severance is the perfect show to have an ARG, because they could go so into all kinds of Lumon stuff that is not something you have to know, and is not like that a lot of people that are like more casual viewers wouldn't care about. They could give us fun stuff in between. I wish they would.
Yeah.
You binge watched it over 6 times. I don't know if I've watched Lost 6 times, so maybe total. I might have. I mean, but like separate times, I don't know about. Like I'm sure that I've seen each episode that many times just from when I first watched it. But
Yeah.
it's like how I saw From, like whatever 4 times each episode
Oh,
when I
yeah.
watched it, but not separate times.
Well, The Walking Dead also, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I watched it a few years later and I was hooked and I binge watched that like crazy. I
Oh, that's
love that show.
interesting.
But of course, it went on too long. But they also had
Okay.
very long seasons. They had like 17 episodes, 18 episodes. Um, and then they'd have a short hiatus. They had two hiatuses, I believe. But
Walking Dead seasons were all different lengths, and then they'd split them in half. They did all kinds of
yeah,
different things.
right,
I don't know.
right.
Look, I loved Walking Dead when it first started, and I
Yeah.
like some of the spin-offs are good, but I think went on too long, and a lot of it that me and Karen have continued was our hate watching it towards the end of the show. Like
I
that's what
know.
we call it. Like we kept it up and we watched the end of it, but a lot of it
Yeah.
we were making fun of it and trying not to, but it's like sometimes it's hard not to. And
The last few seasons were pretty bad. I
yeah,
agree. I just watched it because I had
and
been watching
right.
it all
But I
along.
think though, again, if you're binging it, you don't have. It's not taking you months to get through the stuff that's not as good too. So it makes a difference.
Oh, well, let me back up. I actually missed I started watching it in season 6, I believe.
Oh, you
Was
didn't even
all
watch it at the beginning. That's interesting.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I think it was season 6 or 5 I started watching it. And then I binged it from that point on, I'm saying. But by the time we
Oh,
got to
you went
season
back and re-binged it. I see.
no, I mean I first started watching it uh oh yeah, I watched one episode of season 6. The scene with Glenn under the
Oh, jeez.
under the dumpsters. That's the first episode I ever saw.
But
I
I
said,
mean, you
"What?"
went back and watched it from the beginning and binged it.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
that's what I mean. Right. So by the
yeah.
time they got to season 7, I think I was caught up by that point with
Well, that's
Negan and all that. Yeah.
yeah, no, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't
And then
know.
I
That
watched
was
it.
I
Yeah.
think when Negan came in, that was sort of for a lot of people where it sort of started to
Yeah,
get
I don't think they should have killed Abraham off. I think that was a big mistake. I mean,
shouldn't
Glenn they
have.
had to do because it was in the comic, right? But Abraham too? I think it was just too much. And I think Negan enjoyed it too much. And I think viewers just couldn't stand it. It was awful, you know,
Yeah,
because
it was
Glenn
fun.
was a loved character.
It
And
was.
it
But
was hard to see it.
I was going to say though, I don't know. The thing is, I was going to say with Walking Dead, you can't really get through it and have everybody's going to say if you watch the show, the people are going to die. It's like you got to.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just keep all of them. But yeah, I
I
don't know.
mean,
Walking Dead's a different thing, and Walking Dead because of the network, they can keep it going forever.
Oh yeah, Scott Gimple can keep this going forever, and it has to end at some point. It's too long already, right? I would
Yeah,
like to see a reunion with Rick and Daryl and Morgan. Let's get them all back for a reunion, and that's it, and end
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, if it ends, I would agree with that. But I mean, some of the spinoffs were good.
Yeah,
But I think they were also better because they were shorter too.
yeah,
It didn't go on as long. But
that's true.
yeah, I
But
don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with a lot of Walking Dead.
yeah,
So
I do too. I do too. Um, Daryl Dixon, I did not like the second season. I really didn't. And the first season was okay. You
I
know,
liked the first season. Second season, not as much, but it was
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But Dead City was okay. I heard this season's supposed to be really good. We'll find out. I don't know. But anyway, we're just talking about shows that we liked and we binged watched, and I think that when I binge watched some of these shows, it was enjoyable because I didn't have to wait for the next week to see what's going to happen. Right? I was
Yeah.
catching up on these old shows, watching them. But like you said, you know, Walking Dead is different than From or
Oh yeah,
Severance.
exactly.
These are shows that you want to savor it, you want to analyze it, you want to make predictions of the plot, what's going to happen. It's different. You
Hmm.
enjoy that storytelling, that story crafting. You like it. It's very different. So I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think it's important that we wait week to week to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, these are definitely my kind of shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That are
agree. Now, Breaking Bad is not this type of show, but it's so amazing. It is unbelievable because he is so. I mean, you know the premise of the show. He becomes a
yeah.
drug dealer because he needs money because he's dying of cancer, right? He's a professor. He's a high school chemistry professor.
Mm.
The show is brilliant. The relationship between him and his wife and his family and how he's hiding it from everybody, and it shows like what he goes through. It's an amazing show. You will love it. I'm telling you, it's a great show. You don't have any sci-fi stuff going on, but it's
No,
still a really good
yeah,
show. Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
sci-fi, but that's
yeah,
okay. So that yeah, there's a
yeah.
lot of shows that I want to watch. There's a lot of shows I want to rewatch. Oops, sorry, I was looking for something. Um, I keep saying some of the shows I want to rewatch. Like I wish I had time to sit down
Yeah.
and to rewatch them, and I haven't. Let's see. You made me wonder. I don't think I have Dead City yet. I was looking to see. I don't think.
It's
I don't know.
coming
It
out in
comes up
April.
next month, right?
In April, yeah. I don't know what day though. Yeah.
Right. No, I was just seeing. I don't. I thought maybe I had it, but I don't think I do. No, that's something else. Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, it was good, so I'm looking forward to it. But it isn't.
Kimberly compassionately said, I rewatch Lost almost yearly. Wow.
Where'd it go? Oh,
Hello? You there?
yeah. No, I'm here. I was looking for the chat.
Jamie,
Yes, can
what
you hear me?
happened?
I think it's you that can't hear me. Can everybody else
Can
hear
you?
me?
Whoop. Hello?
Can everybody else hear both of us?
Okay, I hear you now, Jamie.
I think it's you because I don't know, but
Me?
like I can see I don't know, like I think it's on your end because I can see both of our icons, whatever you want to call it, like vibrating, like we're like when you're talking. I can hear you saying, "Can you hear me?" So I think for some reason you're not hearing me. I don't know why. Yeah, because
Oh,
Kimberly says she can hear both of us, so I think it's on
okay.
your end. I
Oh, all
don't
right.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Because yes, every time you've done that, I've been like, yes, I can still hear you. I'm
Oh,
still
you
here.
know, the last few days I've been having some trouble with my internet.
It might
Maybe
be.
Spectrum is having some issues. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't lose you. Good.
No, no, I'm here. I'm trying to see, is there anything else? We're kind of getting off track, but I don't know if there's anything else about I'm trying to think about Severance, anything else that to talk about. We talked about all the ether stuff. I don't know, guys. Tell us what you want to talk about. We can continue to talk about other shows. I know it's not Severance, but people are listening, so I don't know. Maybe they're enjoying it. We still have a lot of listeners. But yeah, I just wish I had time to watch a lot of the stuff that I don't.
I know.
I have a
Yeah, I
lot.
mean, there's just so many hours in the day, you know.
Mhm. Yeah,
You can't
no,
watch TV like 24 hours a day.
no. I need more hours in a day because I have so many things I have to watch that sometimes I don't get to the things I'd like to watch. I try to, but
So Kimberly in the chat said that she rewatches Lost almost yearly. Wow. I mean,
yeah,
that's Kimberly,
that's
that's a
that's
lot
a
of
lot of
watching.
episodes to commit to. That's a lot. That's quite a bit. I don't know, but you guys got to let me know what you want to see in the watch parties. Put it in Discord. I know I made a channel for people to put suggestions. I want to rewatch the OA and Dollhouse. Those are like the two I think that are like
Dollhouse I want to watch.
shows.
Have you seen Dollhouse?
Yeah, I saw it when I was first on.
I've never seen it, but I hear it's great.
I don't know. The only thing is I got to be able to find it. You know what I mean? Like I can't stream it if I can't find it.
Yeah.
The other thing actually I'd like to see again too is Awake, but there's not very many of them, so it's not like it was canceled so quick.
What about 6 Feet Under?
I've not seen that. I don't know that that's really a mystery show, but
Is it a mystery show?
I don't know because I've not seen it, so I can't.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there is some mystery involved, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a mystery show, but it's a fantastic show. I think people would like it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
It's
know what
about
I'm
a
talking
family
about.
it's about a family that owns a funeral parlor.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of like, sort of weird twisty shows.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I think a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people have seen Persons Unknown. That's the other one we should watch and do a
I've never seen it.
What's
it about?
I'm not sure hold on. I'm not sure what you're asking, Scarlett. That's our sister network, NDB Media. So when I chat, it comes up. I don't know where you're at, but it comes up as all 6 networks that are connected, all 6 of our social media that are connected here. No, I'm sorry. What did you ask me?
No, I was asking you what it was about.
Persons Unknown, about people stuck in a hotel room that have no memory.
Oh, cool.
It's very good. It
sounds good.
Right up everybody's alley.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't last super long. But it's a fun. I really liked it a lot. And the nice thing about that show is that the writers there's an interview somewhere, and it unfortunately was not mine, but there's an interview somewhere where they kind of not wrote out, but like told what some of their plans were for like the show, where it was going. So you actually get to see some of, or not see, but read some of what they had planned.
What's it called again? Persons
Unknown. Yeah.
Persons Unknown. Okay. What channel was that on?
It's on MGM. It's Scarlett. It streams from SciFi Vision and NDB Media. If you saw it, I'm guessing maybe you saw it as a suggestion pop up for NDB Media. Maybe, I don't know. It streams from both YouTubes. But they're, like I said, they're our sister network, and very, very nicely host our show, which we very much appreciate. And also they have a lot of different shows on the network that do. Talented Universe, I know, does a lot of interviews too, although those are generally reality. They do a lot of The Voice right now they're doing, but yeah, they're on that network too. So yeah, you guys should check out NDB Media if you haven't. But yes, the other stuff that's on there that isn't SciFi Vision is their part of it, but we're still part of that network. But yes, please make sure that you do also like and subscribe SciFi Vision and Reel Therapy, which you can find the link for that in the description of the video. And of course, I probably should plug tomorrow's show at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We have our Yellow Jackets live stream, and at 9 p.m. before that is the watch party in Discord. But we're doing our live stream at 10:30, and we're doing a collab with the Antler Queens. So yes,
Oh,
Scarlet,
that's
Yellow
great.
Jackets will stream to that as well. It streams to both. But yeah, they're coming on, and we're doing a collaboration tomorrow for our live stream. And then on the 16th at 7 p.m. we have Eastern. We have Nia Sandaya, who plays Aquila, who is coming on our Yellow Jackets show. And we were discussing it. I think what we're going to do with that is we're going to continue the live stream after 7. So we're probably going to do the watch party for that at 6. I didn't think I could stream it at 6, but I'm trying to work it out, so I should be able to be home to do that. But yeah, and you can of course find the links for all these in our Discord. But we have our Yellow Jackets every Sunday. I think it might have dropped at midnight. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Kimberly. The Yellow Jackets drops at midnight. The episode we do also do a watch party when it drops at midnight too. If anybody's interested, we do it then, and then we do it again on Sunday before our live stream. But yeah, I don't know. And we have our Tuesday. We have our show that's our weekly show where we round up. It's our weekly roundup of different things like Reacher and Paradise, and we're going to be adding soon Doctor Who, and we've been doing 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue. And no, that's on. Oh, that's what you were asking about Sunday. Yes, 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue comes on Sunday, so it might have dropped. It probably did drop at midnight. And hey, if you guys want to watch it, we could do a watch party for that as soon as we're done here. If it's out, I'd be fine with that. I don't know if I will stay awake in the chat for it, but yeah, call in, Scarlett. Sure. I mean, unless Laurie's ready to go to bed, I'm fine if you call in. I'll put and Laurie, by the way, if you do want to disconnect and I'm going on too long, you don't got to stay with me.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But yeah, there's the StreamYard link if you want to call in, Scarlett, feel free. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to be doing a separate show for Last of Us. I am considering doing a separate show for Doctor Who as well, if people want to see it. My only issue is we're going to run out of stuff to talk about on our weekly roundup if we start doing separate live streams for everything. But I don't know. I may have to do it on my own if I can't get people to do it. But I've been thinking about doing Doctor Who. Doctor Who's my big. And we also have Tuesday. We also have Daredevil Reborn too. We'll be on Tuesday, 10 o'clock show.
Yes, you do have a lot of stuff that you're working on, that you're reviewing.
Yeah, we do. That's why I said we kind of do everything in our Tuesday show. We kind of wrap it all together. It's we don't do hours and hours on each show. It's
right.
A much shorter show. But yeah, we have that. Let's see. Yes, 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue is on now. Well, if you guys want to see it and want to wait until we're done here, we can even, like I said, we can even do a watch party if people want to do it. Or people can go to bed. It's up to you.
What channel is that on?
It's on MGM. So the same thing on.
I see.
And the kind of code word that's too much. Yeah, I think most people just say 9 Bodies. I'm just saying the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that comes out on what nights?
Sundays, so Saturday at midnight.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought Scarlett was going to call in. I thought she meant she was calling in. I was waiting. Thanks for coming, Cassie, and thanks for coming, everybody. It's appreciated. And make sure you check out scifivision.com as well as socials there for all our other interviews, and of course on YouTube. Because that's got all the stuff too that isn't video. Some of our interviews aren't always video. They're on the site. Okay, well, we'll wait for you to call. If you're going to call, we'll wait for you to call.
Is she calling in?
Yeah, she said she is. I put it. Oh, she's not. I put it in the chat. I can send it to you in Discord. Hold on, give me a second. I have to type it. I just put it in the chat. I assume she can see it. Maybe she can't click it where she's at. I'm not sure. Hold on one second. And
Yeah,
I get it.
Jamie, I think I am going to go, but I really enjoyed being here. And thank you, everybody in the chat. It was nice talking about the episode, but it's like 1 o'clock now. And I
No,
think I'm
yeah,
going to.
it's getting late. Let me I can paste it. I'm not sure exactly where you want it, Scarlett. I texted it to you on Discord. I DM'd it to you there. Does that work? Okay, that's fine. I thought that's what you wanted. You don't have to call. It's up to you. But all right, Laurie. Well, thank you for helping me out. I
Of
appreciate it.
course.
No, that's fine, Scarlett. I get it. Um, all right. Well, I
Thank you for
will.
having me,
Yeah,
Jamie. And
sure.
I'd love to do this again.
Yeah, I would too. It was fun. You're welcome to to call in anytime.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think I'm getting sleepy too, so it probably is about time to call it. But uh yeah, if you guys, well, like I said, if you guys want to do the watch party, I'm fine with that. I just don't know how talkative I'm going to be in the chat, but I'm up for that if you guys want to watch it. And I will talk to you, I guess, later, Lori, and hopefully maybe we'll see you for Yellow Jackets tomorrow. Like I said, the watch party's at 9. So
Okay.
all
Sounds
right,
good.
guys. Well, yes, time doesn't go back an hour. We're gonna lose an hour, not go back an hour. That's tomorrow though, right?
Is that tomorrow night?
We're gonna be up even later tomorrow night. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, it's tomorrow night. I didn't realize that. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All
All
right.
right. So good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good
And
night.
see you soon, Jamie. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Like I said, everybody, please like and subscribe to the channel and check out Real Therapy as well. The link's in the description. Oh, there's Scarlett. She have figured it out.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. I have to like literally type in the
She on?
Yeah,
whole thing. I have to
No,
type in the whole length if you send it in the YouTube, or I have to go through the web. And when
All
I
right,
go through the
Scarlett, I'm
web,
getting off. See
I
you
don't know.
later.
I
okay,
don't know.
bye.
Bye, Lori. I know she's having trouble with her audio. She might not be able
Oh,
to.
okay. Okay. Good night.
You cannot
Okay,
hear
good
me?
night. No, yeah, I don't think she can hear you.
Oh,
Okay, because
okay.
I was talking and she was just talking over me, so I'm like, okay, bye. See ya.
It's okay. Or yeah, no, she's been having some problems all night. She wasn't doing it intentionally.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
No,
her
I mean,
internet.
if you send it in the chat, I have to literally type it out as it is into the link in the app, or else it'll send me to the web. And when I go on the web, the audio usually isn't as good.
No, I get that. Well, what did you think of why we're here then? What did you think of Severance? Since this is for Severance as opposed to Yellow Jackets, what
It
did
was
you think?
short. It was short.
It was short. Yeah.
Plus, we got Patricia Arquette. Downside was she was brushing her teeth for 10 minutes. Plus, it was really beautifully shot.
Yes.
Downer, I don't know if it really moved the plot along.
Yeah.
For a plus, there's a minus.
Yeah, there was pluses and minuses. Let me ask you, because I can't. You might have said it in the chat at this time, but I don't remember who said what. To be honest, it's hard to remember with the chat. But you think we were talking earlier about? Do we think, or do you think that Cobel, that she invented all of Severance, or just like that part of it? And
I think she invented the Severance technique.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying, but we were
debating.
debating.
And then James, not Jamie. James stole it from her.
Yeah. I wish they would tell us like when she came up with that, because we were saying is like I don't know if you were there for this part, but we were saying that like it seems that she got that fellowship right after high school, but whenever she created this stuff would have had to be later in life, because she would have had to have some kind of science or medical training, I would think, to start doing that. Mm-hmm. Your cat wants on.
Yeah, I forgot to close the basement door. I was trying to get on this thing.
But she'd have to have some kind of training to be able to make all that stuff up. But
yeah.
But I'm okay with that. I can accept that. I like the idea.
Well, maybe Wintertide has a good science program.
Yeah, maybe. If it's years later.
Science and major in science, so minor in pseudoscience. Yeah, she's really loud.
That's okay. This is funny.
Hopefully she'll go back up the stairs. I can just shut the door. She got bossy.
It's okay. So what else? Do you have anything else to add about the episode? I think I've said about everything. So what?
Well, you guys were talking about 2 hours on it.
Yeah.
I was kind of in and out. Did you guys
No,
have
yeah,
any?
we started talking about some other shows towards the end, but we went through the whole
Oh,
episode.
I mean, did you guys go through all the pictures of everything that was in her house, her mom's house?
Yes.
You find anything interesting?
Yeah, let me see if there. What do you think that we were talking about the weird thing with the cards? All right, so I'm actually showing what I'm talking about, getting your opinion on it. Let me open up the. Oh, damn it! Hold on. Sorry, hold on a second.
Okay.
I gotta share the right thing, or it's not gonna. Ah, dang. Hold on. Not now, and then I gotta reshare it. I'm getting there. There we go. What do you? We were discussing this. We've come to the conclusion we think it's a vertebrae, but we're not sure. What was your thoughts on?
Yeah, it looks like a human vertebrae.
Yeah, we weren't entirely sure, but yeah, we were talking about that, and also the paper mache tempers and the Kier's altar. I drew a blank there. Sorry, and. I need to, I was saying earlier, I wish I had thought to like take and enlarge everything and like lighten it. Some of the stuff you can't read, but we were trying to read it because she was saying that in the yearbook, it says that she worked in goat husbandry, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Although kind of the opposite of her doing all the science stuff. I'm not super sure that it matches up, but it's interesting. But
yeah, it's interesting with a Vials card, like a shadow puppet.
Yeah, especially I know earlier, I forget which person, I apologize, whoever said it, but one of them was saying it. They think that the paper mache puppets were kind of like a reference to Puppet Master, so that's kind of interesting. But
oh, interesting. Svengoolie's gonna be showing that next week. I don't know if you watch Svengoolie, but he's a horror host.
No, I haven't.
And he has a off branch called House of Svengoolie, and they're doing Puppet Master. So maybe I should record it so I can watch Puppet, because I've never seen it, and
No,
it's
I never have
strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I've told you before, I'm not usually a straight horror person, so I haven't seen it either. What the heck is that? It looks like a dead mouse. What is?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something
Mandrake
weird.
root? I don't know.
Maybe.
Potato? The fruits growing out of it?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there's quite a lot in those two rooms.
So what did you guys think the vertebrae was all about?
I don't know. I don't think we had decided why she had a vertebrae, but we decided it looked like a vertebrae. I think it was Michael that first suggested it looked like a vertebrae. I don't know. It seems very odd that anyone would have a vertebrae. Except for, maybe on Yellow Jackets because they've eaten them. I don't know why you would have a vertebrae.
Well, I thought in like another show, I think it was Altered Carbon, didn't they have something in their vertebrae that they took out to put like a different person's brain into somebody's body?
That they put into their, that was in their back, I think. I don't know.
It was like in their
in the neck, but I remember, it was an implant that went in there. I don't know. The only thing I'm coming up with vertebrae is thinking of the Super Soldiers and X-Files, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it's the only thing that's popping into my head about vertebrae.
Yeah. I didn't know that Jichun was also in Altered Carbon as well as Dollhouse. So those are two things that, really kind of go with Severance.
Yeah, we have to. I was saying earlier we did need to do a watch party for Dollhouse. I liked Altered Carbon. I know a lot of people didn't like the second season. I liked Altered Carbon. It was weird, but I liked it.
Yeah. I only had like a little promo thing that had like 3 shows on it, so it's not enough to really get a good opinion on it. But I liked what I saw.
I see. Yeah, it was pretty good. If you haven't seen it, I suggest watching it. It's weird, but I mean it's different. It's like these kind of things interesting. I think you might like it. I mean, obviously it only went on for 2 seasons, but
yeah.
Running out of water. Well, anything else?
I don't
have
know. Were you gonna go to the watch party?
Yeah, I said we could do a Nine Bodies watch party if people wanted to.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I thought Dieter was already doing one.
for Nine Bodies.
I think so. He said a watch party in 15 minutes, so I don't know.
I don't know unless somebody that was in here mentioned it because we've been talking about it for the past 15 minutes.
Mm.
I don't know. I didn't think you guys had one tonight, but
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw a message.
I don't know. But if everybody's if I'm not gonna do one if nobody wants to go to mine, so I didn't know you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But if you have anything else about Severance, or I mean, it doesn't have to be about Severance, but I assumed you had Severance notes.
I mean, if you want to go to bed, we can just go to bed. I just want
No. You called in. I assumed you had Severance notes that you wanted to talk about. That's why I wondered.
I don't have any Severance notes. I usually have to rewatch Severance before Monday so I can take notes on it.
I see.
I've got my Yellow Jackets notes already done now.
That's good. I have to do mine yet. I haven't gotten that far.
But
yeah,
Yellow Jackets comes a lot easier to me than Severance does. So
well, Yellow Jackets isn't as quite as deep as Severance either, to be fair.
What?
Well, it doesn't have as much embedded in it, I feel like.
What?
I know you love Yellow Jackets. I like Yellow Jackets too.
You don't think that it's personal trauma, like trauma and psychological horror and anything like that's not deep?
Well, and not saying it can't be deep, but I think that in that Severance they embed more hidden stuff in. I feel like personally, but
I don't know. There's a lot of hidden stuff in Yellow Jackets.
well, there's hidden stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of like that backwards messaging at the end of the one episode, and phone numbers you can call into, and like other things that people have put like ran into and found codes in them and stuff throughout the first couple seasons.
Maybe there was more that I didn't see then. You got to remember, I just started diving deeper into the season of Yellow Jackets, so I'm sure. I'm sure I've missed plenty.
We could go to Doc's party. He says he's doing a watch party for a demonstration of my new extreme foot fungus growth ointment.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to see foot fungus. Thank you.
I think I might. Yeah, you should get me TV, Doc, so you can watch Peppermaster because his House of Svengoolie is going to be doing Peppermaster. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But you can go to sleep if you want, Jamie.
No, it's up to you. I mean, I'll talk to you if you have something to talk about. I don't care.
I don't really have anything else to say.
Okay. Well, you're the one that called in, so.
Hey, I don't know. I was just going with the flow.
I see. Yeah, I was seeing I don't see a watch party going on. I was looking to see. It looks like there's just a couple people there. Well, I don't know. If you guys want to do something in our watch party, hit me up in Discord. We can. If not, then I will see everybody tomorrow. But like I said, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, Yellow Jackets watch party in Discord. 10:30 p.m. is our Yellow Jackets live stream with the Antler Pants. And that's going to be fun. And then the 16th is at 7 is our interview with Nia. And like I said, I think I'm going to be able to stream it at 6. So we'll probably do the watch party at 6, like you suggested, and then just do the live stream straight through. Yeah, so that'll be fun. All righty, everybody. Yeah. Well, if you hung around this long, we appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you leave comments too outside of the live chat. It helps the algorithm more. I didn't know that until Scarlett told me. And I know that it's appreciated if you leave comments. But yeah, we'll see you all hopefully tomorrow. And well, I don't know. I'm wondering if our Yellow Jackets conversation will go on really long, considering there's going to be 4 of us there. So I guess
I don't know. I mean, they're all fun to talk
to.
No,
so. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. And although also we lose an hour tomorrow too, so it'll be even later.
It go?
Into the ether.
Oh no.
Yeah,
there's
maybe
that's little time in this world already.
Stay up. We gotta go breathe in some ether here.
Ooh, ether problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that's all I'm thinking about is the ether that there's I want to say smoking. They're not smoking it, they're breathing it.
They're just brown bagging it is what they're doing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, ether frolics. Yep.
Hmm.
We'll have to have it's like a waffle party. Do we have a waffle party or do we have an ether party? I don't know.
You can have both.
We can have both. Yeah. All right.
I mean, I went to a maple syrup festival today. You know, you just slather that waffles with some maple syrup,
Sounds like fun.
top it with some ether.
All right. Well, I
Any
will
lineage.
see you tomorrow, and hopefully everybody else. Make sure you join us. Which one is the after dark? Are they asking about the Yellow Jackets? Or does that have nothing to do with anything?
What are you asking about, Doc? Which one's
Yeah, we're not
After
sure
Dark?
what you're asking about. If you're asking about Antler Queens, yes, their show I think is called After Dark. If that's what you're asking about.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they meant or not. Oh, Frolic or Waffle Party. Yeah, I don't know. I think either could be After Dark. If I'm honest.
Ether is kind of like when you're alone by yourself, just in in the corner of a room with a brown bag and a bunch of broken dreams.
I think Waffle Party you're a little bit more awake for, maybe. So I don't know. I'm just teasing. All right.
Wonderful world of Kier.
Yes. And we need to get Mark back on after the finale, maybe, and talk more, get some more Kier stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. It's been real. Thank you. And
Yeah.
come back tomorrow. Don't forget. I know you won't forget.
I'm going to completely forget.
Yeah, no, you better not forget and leave me hanging. No, we'll be good. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Two other people.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna talk about Ben and all that. Oh, I'm still mad. That's all
about the tendon thing?
Yeah. I'm still mad at them. We'll see.
Well, they didn't kill him.
No, they didn't kill him. But
they probably did much worse.
Yeah, they're probably gonna do much worse. So I don't know. I don't know that I like that.
I just wondered why Akilah didn't just say, "Hey, in my vision, we need Coach intact."
That would have been smart.
That's easy. I mean, she's a kind person anyway. She could be like, "No, we can't do this. The wilderness told me. My little huff and gas Oracle of Delphi told me."
Yeah, she should have thought of that. But then again, they might have done it before she had a chance to think much.
So there's a lot of people huffing things in all these shows. There's people huffing.
There is. They're all getting high in these shows lately. Yep. All right.
Well,
have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Doc.
Bye.